I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gargano Show!
Well, good morning. Happy Friday, Football Friday to all across the Delaware Valley. Hope everybody's Christmas was joyous and fun, and the holiday season is going well. We got New Year's next week. This is how it always goes, and we love it, man. We absolutely love it. So hopefully everybody's enjoying themselves, and we got lots to get to. It's a weird Football Friday because it's Eagles-Cowboys week, and, well, you know what kind of it is. This is, hey, you got to win and then put it to bed, right? And then let's get ready for the playoffs. That's kind of how it's going to be. It's a Football Friday, and we'll get into Dallas week, the whole thing. But again, will Jalen play? My guess is no. If you're a DNP all week, it's hard to get clearance on Friday. It's happened. My guess would be no Jalen and Pickett on Sunday. And listen, I know I've been hearing this all day all week about Pickett and versus McKee. There's things I like about McKee in the preseason, but you're not going to start him now. Look, Pickett's been the backup the entire season. He's been the active player. He's seen it. As much as I go, I think McKee's got a little something. That's against, third stringers in August, right? It's not during the season. So there's a reason why Pickett's the primary backup. You got to go Pickett as you stand. If Jalen can't go, you got to go that route. And look, no CD Lamb for the Cowboys. So, I don't think this should be a Saquon game. This should be a monster. And you put it to bed. You rest everybody on a bye week on Sunday, and everybody's happy, getting ready for the playoffs. That's kind of what I'm looking at for Sunday. So we'll get into that. R.I.P. Bill Bergey. Oh, man. One of the great Eagles of all time, number 66, middle linebacker, Mike linebacker. I remember he was such a great guy. He was a lot of fun, too. He was a very physical guy. Like, if you saw him, he would grab you and shake you and hug you. And he was a fun guy, man. R.I.P. That's a good family. His son, Jake, I know well, and they're just good people. And we want to send our condolences to the Bergey family. Great, great player, Bill Bergey. One of my early memories of Eagles football was number 66 as the Mike linebacker. We'll get into that. We'll get into little Sixers. Shock the world. Thanks to Maxey and Embiid. Wow. Did the season start? We'll talk a little Sixers as Sixers and Flyers go on the annual West Coast trip. Lots to catch up on. My man, good morning, VG Violations, Greg.
Good morning.
What do you say, buddy? How was your Christmas?
It was nice. Chill. It's Christmas is fine. Now we're in that week where you don't know what day it is. It's a hangover every morning for me. I'm out every night. I'm like, what's going on?
I know.
Mentally, I'm here. My body's like, man, stay in bed for a day.
No, it's funny. You're so right. Like, this is the kind of between Christmas and New Year's, it's hard to get your bearings, man.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
You're right. You don't know what day. Because with Christmas falling on a Wednesday, it doesn't. Every day feels weird.
It's too super weird. I'm totally counted. I had no clue last night. I thought it was Friday last night.
Yeah, I know. It's funny. I was thinking the same thing. I'm going, hey, wait, I guess right. We work tomorrow.
Yeah.
We got the show tomorrow. It's crazy. Like how you start to think about it. You go, wait, wait a second.
Yeah.
And then next week will be the same thing, and then we'll get back to normal. I love the holidays. It always strikes me. There's all this buildup for, weeks, and then it's over. And I get depressed. It is because it's like you don't want it to come. It's funny. It's almost like vacation. You want it, you look forward to it, and then next thing you know, you're in your last night of vacation.
Well, you're counting down how many days you got left of vacation.
Yes.
It sucks.
Yes.
Yeah. And I like the holidays are cool because it's like everyone's on vacation. Even if they're not on vacation from their job, everyone's in a festive kind of mood for the most part.
They're on vacation.
Yeah, so
I agree.
Every night people are like, yo, where you going? You want to come out? It's like, oh my God, yes, I'll go out.
A little Christmas cheer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
lots of cheer.
It's a lot. It is. It's great to cheer.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. Listen, I'm with you. And then it coincides with the ending of the football season, right? Like, I always hated the last 2 weeks of the season because, playoffs are usually decided. Like, there's a couple spots that are open still.
Yeah.
But, like, teams don't have anything to play for. You saw last night, like, that was a wretched game between the Bears
I always saw glimpses
and the
of
Seahawks. My father and I watched the game. I was like, oh God.
Man.
Caleb, I mean, they desperately need a coach to kind of fix him. He's completely lost.
Yeah, and everyone, they gave him all the tools. He's got some weapons. He's just can't execute it all.
No, he needs coaching. He needs to be coached really hard.
Mm-hmm.
So, so I'm watching that game, and even Seattle was just brutal. It was just a bad game.
Teams are shutting people down. CD Lamb's done.
Right. Like, it's Cowboys week. Like, I start the show, and I go, it's Cowboys week, but there's no juice to it.
There's no juice. Cowboys.
And it was kind of both the first game too, because
I was kind of geeked for the first game.
Did Dak play the first game?
No,
that's right. It was Cooper Rush. Nah, you can't get geeked for Cooper Rush.
I think it's Cooper Rush. Dallas stinks. There's no CD. They've moved us from 4 to 1. They're like taking all the juice.
425.
Yeah,
like at least I was like, all right, it's 425. And what's nuts is because it's a weird schedule. I do like the Saturday triple header. Okay. So there's a triple header tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then on Sunday, there's only 2 4:00 games. The one 425 game, which is the game of the week, which is Minnesota Green Bay.
Rough slate on Sunday, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's not.
What's the weather? Is the weather supposed to rain too?
Yes. It's going to be like 60 degrees and raining. Yeah, it's going to be Cowboys in the rain.
1 o'clock.
Between Christmas
so
and
you
New
can't
Year.
even get your tailgate going. You got to get up at 8 o'clock. You got to get down there to get the tailgate on.
No, and there's not a lot on the line, right? So it's it is what it is. That's kind of how it's going to be. But I do expect it to be a Saquon game. I don't expect Jalen. It's so hard. He was a DNP yesterday, and it's hard to go from DNP to clearance on Friday. I'd
rather him just sit anyway, man. I just make sure he's right.
I mean, if he could play, if he's cleared, I'd play him. But yeah. If he's cleared, I'd play him. If not, then this is made for you anyway.
I don't think. Yeah, I think they could beat. Kenny Pickett's fine. Kenny Pickett's won 14 games in this league. He's a starting quarterback. The Tanner McKee love that's out there. It's like, well, come on, man.
Listen, I see something in McKee, but again, I don't know. It's preseason, right?
Yeah.
Against third and fourth string guys. So what do I got to see him. There's a reason why Pickett's here, and they didn't trust Tanner McKee to be the primary backup.
And I get, Pickett looks bad compared to Hurts. I mean, clearly he's not in that level. He's a backup quarterback. The guy's won game. He's beaten the Ravens before in a tough conference,
the other thing
tough division.
Is it's hard to go in, especially with a quarterback like Hurts, to go in the game when the game plan's not centered around you. Mm-hmm. Like, I expect this, Sunday for the game plan to center around Pickett, and I think their offense is going to look good.
I think so. I think you're going to see play action. I hope you see some quick hitters because he can't throw the deep ball like Hurts can. So, I mean, taking a chunk play, you got to get lucky with that.
Make it a Saquon game, man. Listen, it is what it is, right? I think you got to, what's ahead of you. You win today, you win Sunday, you wrap the division up, and then you got a bye week.
Right. Pickett can be, I think, a game manager. That's all we need from him.
Yeah.
He's got to get his turnover. He's got to throw an interception. It's not the end of the world,
man. I do. And if they're playing Washington again, you have any? I don't have any worry.
No,
I know there's a lot of people out there going, "Oh my God, stop being it." There's Cuz trying to be a homer. I'm like, no, it's really not. I mean, look at Sunday. How for them to lose would have to conspire for Washington to win.
Yeah.
I mean, are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's a perfect storm. And I like that they lost.
Starting with Hurts going
There's
out.
far less chance of them getting caught by the Commanders in the playoffs after they lose to them just a few weeks earlier. Like, they're going to be focused and ready to go. A little revenge.
I mean, if you ask me, like, Green Bay worries me.
Sure.
Like
they're playing well.
They're playing well, and they travel. Like Monday night. I mean, listen, they didn't play anybody Monday night because that team stinks. But, I mean, they completely dominate. Like they travel, right? Like their defense is playing well. Mm-hmm. They run the ball with Jacobs.
And they got a good quarterback.
Love is terrific. So yeah, they worry me on coming here.
Yeah.
But if I'm looking at I'm supposed to be worried about Washington.
No chance.
No.
I prefer to play Washington.
So do I. Yeah. I do too.
Let's get this rubber match going.
All right. Everybody's talking about the big story of Nick Sirianni and Zach Ertz.
Oh, whoa, a little drama. I love the drama. Nonstop.
Listen, I don't blame Nick a little bit. If he thought that Ertz was being disrespectful.
Ertz is a very nice guy. He's not going to be disrespectful.
How do you know?
What do you mean? He's a good guy in the community. He actually
Forget about a good guy in the community.
Had Nick's,
you don't know.
He had Nick's back. He was a vocal supporter of Nick's.
Then how come there was a perceived beef?
I don't know.
That he made it up? Sirianni didn't make it up.
I don't know.
Maybe Zach was a little PO'd.
What?
I don't know. He lost the game. Tired. He didn't want to hear Sirianni, so he got a little.
Why would he have to hear anything from Sirianni? Why is a co-head coach jarring with players and rubbing it in their face that they lost?
But he's not jarring. He only did it because he felt a perceived slight that there was a beef.
He got a high five too hard. You high five people too hard all the time. No one's giving you a beef about.
There's Johnny Marks.
He's bundled up.
Oh, I got the coat. No, you're right. I do.
Yeah, your high fives break fingers. No one's giving you a jarring with you afterwards.
No, but again, I'm not doing it on purpose. Like, there's a way to do it without doing it on purpose.
Come on, Nick.
I mean, look, right away, everybody's going to jump on Sirianni.
Too hard. He high-fived him too hard, so he's got a jar at him?
No, I think there's a way to do it. He just felt like it was a disrespectful high five.
If Nick was...
Sometimes there could be a disrespectful high five. No? You get it.
Maybe there could be, but in that case...
I don't do a high five.
In that case, why would Nick do a Zoom apology? It's not even a text apology. It's a Zoom apology. I mean, he's out of pocket. He's out of line.
No.
I think Jeff was like, dude, you better apologize.
He didn't want any of the nonsense again.
Any what nonsense?
Oh my God.
He's got the nonsense. Already he's a story with this nonsense. Like, you got to be kidding me. The guy just can't. There's a part of him that's very immature. I'm sorry. He's got to keep it cool, man. Like, Jordan.
I kind of like it.
You don't like it.
I kind of
like it because he's Italian. That's it.
No, that's not true. That's not true at all. That's definitely not true.
Come on, man.
Listen.
Zach Ertz is revered here. He's a Super Bowl winner. He's a tight end. He caught a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
About Ertz. Too much Ertz love. No yak Zach. Come on.
That Yak's overrated. Yak's overrated at the tight end position.
No yak.
He's a nice possession guy. Super Bowl winner. You treat Zach Ertz with respect.
Half yard from the sticks, Zach.
You got to treat him with respect.
Here's Zach. Oh, he's down half yard from the sticks.
He stretched the ball out.
Fourth down.
Well, yeah, man. Like, this got to be irritating to Lurie. I mean, it's just again and again with this guy and the immaturity.
Going into the playoffs, you got to give the guy a break.
Listen, I will say this.
The players
if they don't succeed in the playoffs.
Oh, no. I'm
not surprised if Lurie's just like this. It's not worth it, man.
No.
Lurie does not. Are you
look
really
like questioning his job now?
I am not now. Right now, I am not. I'm just saying.
Well, you're putting a qualifier.
I think this stuff weighs on Jeffrey Lurie. It's embarrassing.
I don't. You really think he would replace Sirianni? Come on, stop.
I don't know, but Jeffrey Lurie cares what the league thinks of him.
Well, listen, you were talking about.
And he's got this coach who's jarring. Every 3 weeks, he's got to get reprimanded. The coach, it feels like.
I mean, the guy's fiery. Since when does Philadelphia not like emotional and fiery?
Yeah, but your head coach can't be emotionally fiery. Jarring. He's jarring players all the time.
You love Buddy Ryan. Buddy Ryan used to do that stuff all the time.
At the microphone afterwards.
Nah,
maybe he punches coach. Remember that?
Yeah, in Arizona, he punched his coach, Kevin Gilbride.
Andrew, you know that Buddy Ryan punched his assistant coach?
when Buddy went to Arizona, there was a guy named Kevin Gilbride, his offense coordinator, and he punched him in the face.
During the game.
During the game.
On the sideline.
Did he deserve it?
No, I don't know. But
who deserves to get punched on the sideline?
Buddy, yet, Nick gives you same fire.
Nah, I was a Neanderthal back then. This is an emotional intelligence era. And you gotta keep it together.
Oh my God! Now all of a sudden it's the
he's got
area.
His core foundational principles are
not with the emotional intelligence
jarring with players constantly.
Come on, man.
Yeah, come on, man. Exactly.
Listen, if you guys disrespectful, guys disrespectful.
High five them. I've never heard of a disrespectful high five.
No, there's a such thing. There's such thing as a disrespectful high five.
It is.
Yeah. I've done one.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, let's face it. We're all creatures as dudes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't like somebody,
I wouldn't high five them.
No,
I don't want my skin to touch their skin.
No, but there's a way to do it, right? You know.
Yeah, you give them a hard slap.
Yes.
You know that.
Same thing
like that.
Same thing like if you see someone and you go and you squeeze them, like you squeeze.
Yeah, no one does that but you.
No, he doesn't.
You have never seen Frazier
I'm not a
squeeze someone's trap so they feel pain. I've never seen Frazier
like,
do that.
You squeeze her. You do a handshake.
Yeah, you go real tight.
Crush their hands.
Well, yeah, crush a hand. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. A high five.
It's the same thing, same principle.
Yeah, you put a little pepper on the slap, man.
There is a thing between dudes that sometimes you would try to exert dominance
over Zach Ertz. He's trying to exert dominance.
Oh,
you contributed nothing to this game. You're a loser. You have one catch. Like, that's what he said, though. Like, what are you doing?
I love it.
You're a loser. You have one catch.
Like, what are you celebrating, dude? You had one catch. Yeah. No yak. He should have tried out the no yak.
He should have. Old Nick Bickle. Ever since he shaved his head, I thought he was together, but Nick Bickle's out.
Travis Bickle. All right. Also on the docket today, could it be?
What?
The NBA season started
No.
Christmas Day.
They're not sucking me in yet. No way.
Clap your hands.
I got to protect myself.
Play the song.
No way.
They beat the Celtics on Christmas Day.
Oh, man.
Nope. I am not getting sucked into this.
Everybody
Nope.
for Philadelphia.
Nope.
We're gonna lose our next three.
Oh, yeah.
All right, here you go.
No Drew Holiday.
At Utah, at Portland, because it's the West Coast trip for Flyers and Sixers. At Utah on Saturday, at Portland on Monday, at the Kings, at Golden State, and then the last game's at New Jersey, at the Nets, Brooklyn.
Sixers?
Where do you go? 5. Oh, those 5.
3-2. Yeah. Yeah, because they're not playing bad ball lately.
Maxey.
Yeah.
And the one thing you think about, here's the one thing, I can't quit them altogether. Like, I can't quit them.
I'm not quitting them. But
listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was completely annoyed by them, right? So Christmas Day, my nephew over my sister's had the Sixers game on.
Mm-hmm.
And I went, put the football on. And I did. I said, put the football on. I said, I want to watch football. I'm
so there's
annoyed.
only one TV on.
Right. We're all, the whole family's there watching.
Okay.
And I said, put the football on. Then in the fourth quarter, then I'm watching on my phone, like I'm keeping the track on my phone. But then
Boston's making a run in the fourth.
I'm like, put the Sixers on.
Now you're a fourth quarter NBA fan. There's a ton of you out there.
No. The only reason why is that I didn't want to get them like where they play and then they blow the lead and I'm annoyed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I had to watch it.
No, but you're turning on when they're about to blow the lead, it looks like.
It was late third.
Yeah.
Right. And listen, you're right. Boston made a comeback and the whole thing, but you know how it is. Like you have to protect yourself with them. Like you just
that's
said
what I'm doing right now.
And I'm like, well, all right. I can't watch him to start I can't watch it. I'm going to watch football to start.
Yeah.
By the way, did you have any issues with Netflix?
No,
Zero.
We were okay, yeah.
0? I had buffering issues.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, that stinks. It was like a $300 million spectacle.
They're
I
buffering.
didn't watch
They've got
halftime
buffering
nonsense.
issues.
Those games stuck.
Beyonce. Ooh.
Dude, they're saying she got paid like 15 or 20 mil for that performance.
Yeah, she was looking good.
It was like a little 10-minute show.
She got $15 million.
That's what the reports are, 15 or 20 million.
Oh, that's crazy. Oh, well, that's our world. All right, lots to get to. It is a football Friday. Let's talk about a little Empire today.
Oh, I would love to. Empire Today, they're the people you want for flooring. And they got, right now, I'm checking this out, $350 off new floors with the PHLY code. So if you're in the mood for flooring, if you're in the need for flooring, Empire Today is where it's at. With Empire Today, you get a cool shop at home convenience. They got the right product to fill your needs. They do quick and professional installation, and they got a price match guarantee. It's the best place to get new flooring because they do this thing where you can shop at home. So you take a picture of your house. They put down some samples so you can see what it'll look like in your lighting and with your decor. And makes it more of an informed purchase, So they got some competitors out there who advertise cheaper products, but they are inferior quality products. Empire just won't carry them. So they won't match prices on crappy flooring. But quality flooring, you're safe with their price match. So their philosophy is help you find what you need. They don't overwhelm you with a ton of samples. They curate a nice little selection for you to look at. I don't know. They pride themselves on their convenience and their shop at home convenience. They help customers shop for floors where they use them, like I said, and they service their own stuff with their own warranty. So they don't have to worry about calling some third party for your warranty. Schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive $350 off when they use the code PHLY. See EmpireToday.com/PHLY for more details.
I like it. Empire
Today.
All right, let's talk about Golden Nugget Jewelers, where Philly gets engaged. Now, look, I know you're thinking, well, Christmas over, the whole thing. But maybe you're in the market for that engagement ring. Maybe you fell in love and Christmas sealed the deal, right? There's a lot of Christmas love going on, and that could seal the deal. And you're thinking, you know what, I'm going to get the ring and I'm going to propose New Year's Eve or maybe Valentine's Day.
New Year's Eve is a cool move.
It is a cool move.
Yeah.
Why, no good?
I'm not a holiday, it's just not in my wheelhouse to do something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful thing if you want to do it. It's a beautiful thing.
Because of your vast experience.
Yeah.
Come on, it's good. You get dressed up, you go out for a nice dinner New Year's Eve, you pop the question.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you don't need to do it in front of people.
Yeah.
You can do it when you get, I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing regardless.
There you go.
He's just going to pick a random Monday. The romantic guy here. Pick a random Monday to get engaged.
Monday morning at 11 a.m.
Yeah. Hide it in their sandwich.
Whatever you want to do, you just go see my man Yaron at Golden Nugget Jewelers. All right, right on 8th and Chestnut in the heart of Jewelers Row. So go see him. He's got all the incredible, everything you need. And Valentine's Day is around the corner. So make sure you have Golden Nugget Jewelers on your radar. GoldenNuggetJewelers.com and Golden Nugget Jewelers, where Philly gets engaged. All right. Now joining us, our man, Franny Films.
They do not crave food nor drink for nourishment, for they exist solely on the glow of the all 22 monitors. They are the Leatherheads, and he is Franny Films.
That's it, Franny Films. I get a kick out of that. VG's,
what's up, guys? How's everything going?
How was your Christmas, buddy?
Christmas was great. No, it was great with the family. We got to see both sides of the family this week, so it was a lot of fun, a lot of food. It was a great day.
That's awesome. Good for you. Did Sammy treat you well?
How was everything for you guys?
Good. It was awesome. Beautiful. In fact, I got to take Massimo out to the yard soon because he got his new bat.
You got a combat?
Not the combat, another bat.
All right.
But he liked that one. He likes
He's
that
happy?
one. He's happy.
Cool.
Yeah. So he's like, Daddy, take me to the field. Because he loves hitting, I'll get a bucket of balls and he'll try to hit as many as he can out.
Is there a cage? You guys are outside in this weather?
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, Franny, it's so good to see you. I'm so happy you had a great holiday season. Great Christmas. So, all right, dude, what do we got? let's look at it. Let's look at Sunday and the state of the birds. I doubt Jalen plays when you're a DNP or the whole week. I mean, it could happen, but I doubt he gets cleared today.
Yeah, it sounds, we talked about it yesterday with Zach on the PHLY Eagles show at 2:00. And basically, I mean, it seems like if he doesn't go, and even in limited form today, that it seems unlikely that he can get cleared per the concussion protocol. So my guess is if we don't see him today, we will not see him on Sunday.
Yeah. It's hard for all week long. You're a DNP, and then you show up on Friday. You're the quarterback. Now, I expect, we talked a lot about this, Kenny Pickett, VG, and I. And look, I get the Tanner McKee love. I understand it. But let's face it. I mean, there's a huge difference looking decent against third and fourth stringers in August than it is during the season when Pickett's been the primary backup. He's been the guy active. All right. He comes in. It's a tough situation, Fran. The game plan's not for him. So now he has a whole week. I think he'll look better if he goes on Sunday.
Yeah, Zach had dropped the hint yesterday that he expects more high percentage type of throws, more quick game design plays to go to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. So my guess is when you have that whole week to game plan for Kenny Pickett. Now, look, with the rib injury, look, he had that further testing done on Monday after the game. They may have gotten a sense early on in the week. Yeah, like he's going to be okay. Obviously, he spoke yesterday afternoon with reporters late in the afternoon and said, yeah, like I'm going to be good to play. I'll have some extra padding on there. So my guess is that the staff had an idea that he was going to be able to go Monday, Tuesday. And so now, yeah, you have that full week to kind of game plan, tailor everything to what Kenny Pickett likes. And we should see a better version of him come Sunday against this defense.
Yeah, I look, and it should be, again, there's no CeeDee Lamb. I don't know what they got. I don't know what kind of, like, I give McCarthy credit, right? I can't believe I'm saying this, but they played hard down the stretch. Like, they didn't quit. The Bears quit. The Cowboys, at least the Bears offense, the Cowboys didn't quit. So I just don't know. You shut CeeDee Lamb down. I'm not sure what to expect on Sunday from them.
Yeah, CeeDee Lamb, he's been trying to gut it through this shoulder injury for the last couple of weeks, and just kind of reading through some of the quotes this week from him from recent weeks, you could tell that it was a pretty bad one. And so they shut him down late in the day yesterday. I think when you look at this Cowboys offense, they're starting to run the ball a little bit better than what the Eagles saw back in Week 10. But this pass game just doesn't have a ton of teeth. That's with CeeDee Lamb, so you take CeeDee Lamb out of it, and it's just kind of a grab bag of talents, guys that were drafted, anywhere from round 2 to round 5, and that haven't worked out, haven't hit their ceiling. There are some guys that have some length. There are guys that have some speed. Though to me, the most dynamic player is Kevontae Turpin. He's a player that's been their kick return guy, their gadget guy, and he's developed into more of a regular role player for them, where now it's not just
Can I please... You're my witness.
Am I?
How many times did I bring up early in the season with Turpin? I go, I don't know why they don't use him, because he's got speed. He's a dynamic player.
Yeah, he's like a utility, like a
Remember
Swiss
I
Army.
said that to you early?
I wouldn't even know who this guy was if it wasn't for you saying it.
Franny, I was like, they were slow to identify him, to integrate him in the offense. When you're an offense devoid of any speed, right? Like, they're playing. I never understand what they look at. Honestly, what McCarthy looks at.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing where, all right, you have CeeDee Lamb, obviously. You spend, free agent dollars to get Brandon Cooks. So it's like, all right, he's the vet, former first-round pick. Like, he's going to be the number 2 guy. And then like I said, they drafted players in, like, the 3rd round, 4th round, where I think they wanted to give those guys looks. Whereas Turpin, they kind of plucked off the street, where he was dynamic in I think it was the AFL or the UFL, whatever it was. And he was one of the most dynamic players in that league. Comes here into the NFL, it instantly gives them a ton of juice as a return man. It seems like he has a great return against the Eagles every time these two teams play, which, given the status of the kick return or the kickoff coverage unit last week against Washington, that's something to watch here in this game. But I think, he's a guy that early on, all right, we're going to give him, a jet sweep or a bubble screen or some kind of trick play. But now you're seeing more targets for him as a traditional receiver, and they're giving him reps as a true running back, where they're going to put him in the backfield and run perimeter run plays with him. And it's not, look, they're not going to run him between the tackles on ISO lead. They're not running power football with him, but just a perimeter sweep. We're going to toss it out. We're going to get some lead blockers out in front, and we're going to see if he can create. They don't have any other backs that have any level of juice, and so giving that ball to Turpin there, has made some sense in the last few weeks.
I remember it's funny. I'm watching him watching him return kicks. I'm thinking this is early in the season. Thinking you're going with Elliott and Dowdle. Like Dowdle's all right, but there's nothing dynamic. Like you got no speed anywhere.
Yeah.
Like why wouldn't you try to get same thing? Like end arounds, just get a guy the ball in space. So all right. So when you look at the matchup, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's three. They should dominate. Barkley should have a big game. I mean, that's kind of how I am going into it.
Yeah, I think that, given the fact that you have all this question about the pass game and who's going to be a quarterback and what's it going to look like, and given also the fact that this run game was not good last week against Washington. I mean, they ran for over 100 yards in the first quarter, and as we discussed on Monday, they just could not move the ball well enough in the final three quarters, and that falls on the offensive line, that falls on the tight ends. They did not do a good enough job. That was not anywhere close to their standard from an execution standpoint up front. And if next week becomes a meaningless game against the Giants, you don't want to go into the postseason where something that's been your strength, your bread and butter, your identity, and come off of two straight, kind of substandard games here going into the playoffs. So my guess is they're going to put a lot of emphasis on this run game in this one. Dallas, by basically every metric, is the worst run defense in football. They can't stop a nosebleed, when they're in terms of trying to hold up, whether it's inside, outside, every split you look at, this group has really struggled to stop the run. And so I think ultimately you look at the Eagles game plan in this one. Yeah, we're going to comb down the pass game. We're going to make things easier for Kenny Pickett from that standpoint. But this run game has got to be the engine. That's got to be what this offense is built on. That's what this Dallas defense has really struggled to do. They've done a nice job at creating some turnovers and defending downfield throws. And, they've got some ball hawks on the back end. Don't leave anything up to chance. I would say for this one, this should be a run game focus. This should be a heavy Saquon Barkley and Kenny Gainwell kind of game here for this Eagles offense.
Hey, this Dallas defense is pretty good on third down. I think they're ranked fourth in the league in third down percentage. Without Jalen Hurts, and the Eagles seem to become now a third down, 3-down team instead of like you got the tush push. You always feel like you got 4 tries at this. Do you think that comes into the game plan at all?
My guess is it will. I mean, we saw Pickett run a couple tush pushes, in the summer and, leading into the early stages of the year. For whatever reason, they just did not feel comfortable doing it last week against Washington, which was curious. But I think ultimately, when you look at what makes this Dallas defense so good on third down is that, if they are able to get some stops early on, they get into third and long. That's where Mike Zimmer can break out some of these funky pressure looks and bring linebackers and safeties up on the line of scrimmage. That's something that he's always done at such a high level since he's been even going back to his defensive coordinator days early in Dallas, but then also in Cincinnati and certainly when he was the head coach in Minnesota. They bring a lot of that to the table. And given the fact that the Eagles had trouble with some of those pressure looks last week with Pickett in the game, my guess is that's another reason to lean into the run game here. I think you want to try and stay away from what Dallas does well. So staying in those third and medium, third and manageable, third and short type of situations, that plays into the Eagles' hands because the Cowboys just don't have the bodies up front. If you allow them to play with light bodies, play with more linebackers, more DBs on the field to come up, it's 3rd and 9. That's, Greg, where those pressure looks really come in handy. And you mentioned it; they've been really good on third down. The blitz is a big reason why.
Is that the old double mug? Is that what we call it with the Zimmer?
Oh yeah, that's that's the double mug stuff, all the double A where they've got both linebackers up over the center. And the Eagles, again, they struggled with that just this past week against Washington. Dan Quinn presented a bunch of those looks. There was a sack in the red zone where Pickett got sacked by Dante Fowler off of his right side, off the blind side. That came off of one of those looks. Some of his worst plays, some of the throwaways where, he had something there, but he was so skittish in the pocket because he got 6 guys up on the line of scrimmage and he just didn't feel comfortable in the pocket. came from those same looks. So my guess is that Zimmer will try and lean into some of that here in this game.
Yeah, they sacked Hurts 5 times last game. What's the over-under on Pickett? Sacks 7.5.
No, I know. Well, remember, too, Jalen was in a little bit. He was that game. He got a little hold on the ball a little bit. Remember, we talked about that a little bit. You missed Dallas week being mattering.
What's that?
You missed Dallas week, mattering.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, look, I think, and that's why, honestly, like even like next week, you just got to know, no matter how this game goes for the Eagles could lose this game. Next week doesn't mean anything. You know, the Giants have just no juice right now. And so to have like those two rivals, because you would stack them ahead of Washington in totality in terms of, how much juice you're able to get up for that rivalry. It does kind of suck to not have that level of juice, for this game. So yeah, I do kind of miss it. I would appreciate if Dallas, can kind of step that up. The Giants are the worst team in football.
Sure,
so I think when you look at Dallas, you say they're a little closer.
I think this is an important win this week. They win this game, and then they rest everybody. Week 18.
Yep.
Giants win. Giants don't get their top 2 pick. This is all about we have to win this week and let the Giants beat the Eagles, so they're screwed and they don't get a franchise quarterback next year.
What was the year where the Eagles laid down against the Giants? You remember that? It was
that was
last game of Chip.
That was 16. It was Chip. It was 2015. Yeah, Chip's last year. Pat Shurmur. Yep.
Yeah, and they laid down that game. Remember
that's
everybody
the
was
plan.
freaking
That's
out.
a long plan.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, dude.
And ironically enough, if that were to happen here in this one, that would prevent the Giants from having the first chance at getting Pat Shurmur's quarterback, because Shurmur is Shedeur Sanders' offensive coordinator down in Colorado.
That's right. That's right. It's true, man. And it is interesting. I like you. I hate these 2 weeks because there's only a handful of good games, right? Everything's pretty much decided. Like you got Green Bay, Minnesota. That's a terrific game. But other than that, you got a handful of games. That's it. Otherwise it's all slop. Like last night was brutal football last night.
Yeah, last night was a tough watch. I don't have a ton of takeaways from that other than that was a tough watch. I mean, look, the Washington Atlanta game has got some juice, right, in terms of playoff seeding and certainly with the NFC South. I don't think you anticipate either of those teams advancing past the wild card round, but with Tampa kind of faltering here a little bit, Atlanta's got a little bit extra juice, a little bit more pep in their step with the rookie Michael Penix coming in. Can they upset Washington? I think there's some people that have faith in that. So. That's got a little bit of juice, but the rest of these matchups, not a ton to get excited about here this week.
No, I know. And then it also sucks is bowl season's dead.
Yeah, there's
nobody plays.
Brutal.
Like either you're in the portal or you're opt out, or I mean, it's crazy. None of these, like Oklahoma's playing today, and there's no backup quarterback, no Bowman, nobody's playing. Franny.
That's why the playoffs only going to expand, man. It's only going to expand because they're seeing now, like, all right, well, we got 12 teams to where every player was able to commit and play. So it's gonna keep going up. I bet you it gets to 16 teams within the next few years, and it'll just keep going up because these bowl games matter less and less for those for these players that are left on those teams. Look. Colorado, Shedeur Sanders, all those guys, Travis Hunter, they're all playing in their game. Cam Ward, presumably the other top quarterback in this draft, he's going to play in their bowl game here this week. So it's not that everybody's checking out, but that's been the trend. Because you remember, I mean, when this would now be January of 2017 when Christian McCaffrey, didn't play in his bowl game for Stanford. Leonard Fournette didn't play in his bowl game for Stanford. Deal. It was like, oh my God, like what is going on here? Now, I mean, it's more that's the rule instead of the exception.
What I think they got to do is, I think you got to push the portal back. I know they worry about the semesters lining up and getting kids into the second semester in the spring semester, but let's be real here, all right. Like, let's stop with the pretense and acting like, oh my God, they can't get him in for the spring semester. I mean, please. So just move the portal back, and now with the NIL money, there's incentive to play. And the other thing I'm thinking is, if you're one of these big sponsors of these bowl games, then you should have a stipend for the players to play. Put an incentive, financial incentive to play. You might as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's something that will probably come into the discussion. I think that also, you'll probably get more sponsorship to the playoff games that happened last week. Get a little bit more around those as opposed to some of these other bowl games that may have a name. Or maybe just saying, okay, that first round, instead of it just being the quarterfinal, Georgia versus pick your game, Texas versus Clemson. That becomes one of these bowl games that has become meaningless. I think there's still a lot of correction that's going to happen here in the next few years when it comes to the college football postseason.
You know what's nuts is yesterday, my father and I have on, it was some bowl game. I was like, oh, look, it's afternoon, put it on, right? Just while we're doing our thing. And it was Toledo. And it was the game last, then we got caught up in it because it went into overtime, like 5 overtimes. And the game lasted 5 hours. It started at 2. We were looking at 7 o'clock. I was cooking dinner. I go, dude, it's still like, look at it. We're like, oh, it's going to keep going. It's going to keep going. I don't care. I said to him yesterday, there's no such thing as bad football.
No such thing as bad football.
Even last night is ugly.
Come on, last night is terrible.
I was going to say until Thursday night happened.
I still would watch it.
Get out of here.
I still watch it. Because pretty soon you're going to be missing that.
Of course, but yeah. No, I'm not missing the Bears playing. I'm not missing that.
Yes, you will. No. Franny will be Franny, you'll be missing, it's come like the end of February, March, while you're in the middle of your draft stuff, you're going to go, man, I miss me some football, real games.
Yeah. So with me, I'm watching as much football once I get into the spring and when the itch really starts to happen. It's like, man, I'm excited for new football. When it gets to like June, July, that's where I start to really get the itch. Because by the time I get through like the draft, I'm still combing through like, all right, I've got, I'm watching Notre Dame, Oklahoma. I'm watching Auburn, South Carolina on my tablet, sitting in this chair. And so I'll have that to feed my fix for the next several months. But once we get to like after the draft, early stage of the summer, and I start looking ahead to 2025, that's when I'll be very excited for new film to be able to watch.
I agree. I'm with you, my buddy. All right. We ask the question every week. Here we go.
How many gummies for this game against the Cowboys?
I'm going to say 1 gummy. I just because there's not a ton of juice for the game. I do think the Eagles win. I think if they don't, even if they don't look, they're favored by a touchdown right now. I know there's been some movement because of the quarterback questions, but I think when you look at this game, there's just not a lot on the line here for the Eagles. To me, I look at this as a 1 gummy game. If the offense doesn't look great, you chalk it up to the lack of Jalen Hurts, and all right, when Jalen Hurts gets back into the lineup, it'll be more of what we've come to expect. So I would go with this being a 1 gummy game here against a Cowboys team without CeeDee Lamb. You feel pretty good about it.
That's what I'm feeling. I'm with you.
Yeah, I agree. All right, my brother, listen, enjoy. All right, your holidays, buddy. We'll be bothering you next week. Happy New Year.
Same to you guys. We'll talk soon.
Thanks, Franny. Franny Films checking in. We love Franny Films. Guess who's back from his sojourn?
Global trekking.
Yes. The Brain.
Nice.
Brain? No, he's not back yet.
He's back. He's not
still
logged
in
on yet.
He's still in Reykjavik.
He's on his way to the car. The Queen doesn't want him in the house doing the show. He's going to go sit in the car.
He was in a bedroom yesterday. He was sitting on the floor next to a bed yesterday. I thought it was like his childhood bedroom or something.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
One day last week, he was like had to move his car. It looked like he was in a chase scene from the cops. He had to move the car around.
Oh, that's right. He was back last week.
Yeah, they were moving him.
That's right. He was back last week. All right. So I'll ask you.
Yeah.
What are you watching? We got there's like 5 bowl games today. There's 3 NFL games tomorrow, Sunday. Like, will you sit and watch?
I'm probably not going to watch a lot of sports. This is the week where, it's more, if it's on at the pub, I'll be at the pub almost every day for the next 5 days, probably.
So you go every day to the pub?
I'm on like a 6-day streak already right now.
Man,
Really?
Yeah.
on a bender.
That's nice.
I'm not on a bender. I pace myself, throw a couple NA beers in the middle, pace yourself a little bit. But yeah, I love it, dude. I love when people want to gather and talk. I'm in.
Dude, I agree with you. Listen, there's nothing. I wish.
If you're out there, send me an invite. I'll come hang out, man. I love it.
Yeah, no, I feel I respect that. Again, if I have kids, I would be right there with you.
I know. I met you at a pub.
That's right. We got a scrimmage tonight.
Basketball?
Yeah.
All right. Who's the squad?
My team against Gateway.
Gateway?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, a little scrimmage.
What's the line
action.
on this? What's the line on this one?
I don't know, man. I don't know what. I'm not sure.
Yeah. The match of defense come together.
I got to see what we got. We got to go. All I know is my man Kevin, my assistant, or we coached together.
Yeah.
Kevin got it at ref.
He's reffing?
No, he got a ref. So we'll scrimmage.
Yeah. Nice.
So of course my
your home court or
yes,
all right.
at St. Margaret's. So my little guy goes, now is it going to be like last year's scrimmage where you kept stopping and interrupting the game?
Teaching.
I go, dude, that's what a scrimmage is about.
No teaching moments allowed from us.
He said it's not fun. I go, dude, you're going to learn practice.
He's such a diva.
You're interrupted, Daddy. Interrupted. I'm trying to tell you how to play. Believe that, kid?
Hey,
with his gold sneakers.
Wait, he's got
nice.
Gold basketball sneakers?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, man.
No, it's not.
I'm about to come watch this scrimmage. Hey, what do you think of it? I mean, you know some folks. We got some Shaq Barrett interested in town. You think a chance he comes here?
I listen, I think it would be great.
Yeah.
I think it would be great.
I mean, he's got to clear waivers. No one's going to pick him up because he can't play.
No. I think that's kind of a Howie
connection.
And that's a Howie type of move, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a big time Howie type of move.
Yeah, that would be great. I mean, that would change things.
Listen, I would agree.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree with you. But, it's funny. As you look at and see this whole thing play out, I mean, defensively, believe me, I'd take them in a heartbeat. But I feel good about them defensively.
Yeah, but they need help on the end.
Yeah,
Huff coming back is not something that you're really looking for.
Again, the only thing that I'm worried about is is Carter wearing down.
Carter wearing down. I mean, we saw Sweat got a little banged up last game. If they lose Sweat, if they lose an end, they're in trouble with their pass rush. So they need some depth. So I would be all in on Shaq Barrett.
Oh my God, in a heartbeat. But I'm just talking about it in general. Forget we all agree. Shaq Barrett would be great.
So
but
you feel good with Huff coming back, and
I feel the only thing that scares me is Carter wearing down.
Okay,
that's it. All right, it's time to go to the brain.
Brain. Red, the brain finder.
What do you say, Brain? How are you, buddy?
Good morning to you, my friend. How was your Christmas?
It was great. Thank you, buddy. We appreciate it. How was the Hanukkah? First day was Christmas
Everything
Day.
good, man. Everything good. Had a really nice night, a really nice day, everything. So, yeah, no complaints here, my friend.
Are you in Florida?
No, I'm actually in New Jersey. Victoria's dad, staying with him and his wife, and we're having a really, having a really nice time. Yeah,
where
very
do
nice
they
time.
live?
And
Down the shore?
No, they're in. They're in near Secaucus.
Oh, okay.
Right, kind of right near the New York. Yeah, right near the Meadowlands, actually. Right near like where the Giants and Jets play. I always remember that with the NBA lottery.
Yes.
Remember that? I
Yes.
used to remember Secaucus, New Jersey.
Yes.
All right.
Secaucus, that's right.
I remember from that Channel 9. We used to get the Channel 9.
And the headquarters was Secaucus.
Yeah. Secaucus, yep.
Well,
9.
Goodfellas.
Yeah, Channel 9.
Were you at Sea Caucus?
I am in Sea Caucus.
All right, let's get. There's a plethora of sports. Like,
There
what
is
do
a plethora of sports.
how do you handle this? Where you got relatives and you got to be charming, but you're also got to be locked in.
Look, I will say this, again, Victoria always makes fun of me. She's like, my phone is surgically attached to me. I try to fake it a little bit. It's just hard, man. I am who I am. So like, I mean, it's mostly me being tuned in. I think people just realize I'm a weirdo. So,
so is this like a Fokker situation? Like you're like,
well, look, they've seen me do it enough now that I kind of can like do it. We're like, oh, that's just Brad being Brad. So it's kind of like the shock factor is worn off. So, so I think I'm kind of in the clear where I've kind of like, it's like when you watch Lamar Jackson, he runs good, right? Like I'm on the phone, I'm doing my sports stuff. That's part of me. So yeah, I think not that it's always welcomed with open arms by the missus, but she accepts it pretty good. I'm pretty lucky.
Now, what was the overall? Were you paying attention to Bears Seahawks last night?
Yeah, well, I bet the game. So yeah, I had the Bears yesterday. So yeah, I watched that game. And it was kind of, I thought it was gonna be a close game. The weather wasn't great. Bears defense played well. And so yeah, I did have that game. So I watched every play of it. I got to tell you though, did you watch the end of the clock? Yeah, exactly. I got away with it. The end of the clock management of the Bears again. Anthony, I don't know if you saw the end, if you were up, you were sleeping.
No, I watched.
It's just, dude, VG, you see it?
No.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Oh, it was like the headline article on ESPN again, the Bears clock management. They complete a pass with like a minute to go, they had 2 timeouts, Grant. 2 timeouts. They have a 4th down. They throw like a 30-yard pass to the 40-yard line. With like a minute to go, they then snap the ball with like 20 seconds left. It's almost like they're trying to just show ineptitude.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, how does this happen?
Well, I do think because right, like their interim, like they are lost. I mean, you see on the sidelines how they call timeout, like they're burning timeouts.
This is why, Anthony, and I say this again. Listen, I know what stuff I know. I know what stuff I don't know. And could I call an NFL play? No. Can I motivate these guys? No. No. I know. Again, but the one thing I know I would do better than, I want to say about 100% of the coaches, is I would know when to call timeout. I would know when to go for 2. I would know how to manage a game better than basically any of them. Any math guy, any professional gambler, they should just hire a professional gambler who knows what they're doing to manage that one aspect of the sport, and it would be worth at least a half game conservatively to every NFL team. It frustrates me like crazy.
You don't think you crack under the pressure if you're on the sidelines or heat of the moment? You might just freeze. You're pretty comfortable in your performance abilities under pressure?
Stop it. Maybe on a first date back in the day I froze, but on this, no.
Moves pretty quick when you're in the heart of it, man, and it's happening.
The only issues is when you got like a change of a play, right? Like in the spot where they're looking and there's confusion.
Well, I actually want to talk about it. It's funny you should say that. One thing that, again, I will say I fiercely believe I was right on, and this to me was a result over a process. And this guy is brilliant who went against me, and he turned out, I guess, to be right. But if you remember, guys, the Super Bowl between the Patriots and Seattle, right? When it was about 45 seconds to go or something like that, the clock was running down. New England, they were at the 1-yard line, right? Seattle, where if a touchdown scored, New England could have kicked a field goal to tie it up. So I would have been calling my timeouts, like, listen, when they score here at the 1, probably inevitably, at least I have Tom Brady having 40 seconds to score.
Right.
Belichick said, and again, he wasn't BSing. He actually said it to everyone on the staff. I've seen interviews from the staff. He's like, I think they're confused. I want them to be rushed. I don't think they're going to get in the right play. And if I call a timeout, it's going to settle them. I wouldn't have handled it that way. He turned out to be correct.
I know, that's big stones. I agree with you. I remember that. I would have called timeout too, but that's big stones.
Because I thought I always say, if there was this thing happened 100 times, maybe 20 times they don't score, I think maybe 75 times they do, and 5 times there's a turnover. He got the turnover, which made him look like a genius, which he is, Belichick, he is. But to me, that was something I just never would have done. And I remember watching that TV. What is he doing here?
You also wouldn't have thrown the ball.
No. Oh my God, no. I mean, again, you have a running back that was like, Derrick Henry, like running back in Marshawn that wasn't being stopped, and you're doing them a favor. I mean, you're doing them a favor. They want you to pass the ball. They're begging you to pass the ball. But Look, that's always going to be on Pete Carroll's epitaph, and that's always going to be on Belichick and Brady. It's just, it's the way history's going to remember it.
Yeah.
Fairly so in this case.
Yeah.
Hey, Brady, your sleeves look rather wide. The opening on your sleeves on this hoodie look awful wide. You outstretched them?
No.
Hold on.
No, man. No.
Yeah,
I mean,
come on. What is up with that?
It's a dangling sleeve.
Yeah, they're dangling, man. Did you
Real?
stick your head through
I don't know. I'll roll up my sleeves. Go to work. All right. I mean, what can I say? But
I love VG. Dude, you noticed the
This guy
dangling
notices everything.
Who's
sleeve?
got dangling? Like we all were wearing hoodies. We got
But I
dangling
respect
sleeves like
it.
that.
But I actually like that. I respect that. I love people who notice things.
Well, he stretches.
Anytime
You
I
can
meet
see,
someone
like,
who
he
notices
likes
stuff,
his.
He rolls it up and he
rolls it up.
outstretches it.
I roll it up.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
going
what's
to work
happening.
with you fellas. I got to roll up the sleeves. But I love when people notice stuff. Like that to me is a sign of a winning person. Because people don't notice stuff. That's things go over your head and you miss out on things. VG, that doesn't happen. I respect it.
All right, let's go. We got a huge weekend. Anything with how do you handle the bowl games with all these kids not playing, portals, and can you get an
I'll be
edge
honest,
there or what?
Listen, I used to that was like my favorite thing was the bowl games. For me now, I don't really get too involved at all in the bowl games because to me there's too much. I always say if I'm desperate to bet on something, Anthony, I can go to Parks and bet on black or red, right? If I'm just jonesing for a bet, I could bet on anything any single time I want. Okay. It doesn't have to be something for me to force something. I only like to bet if I think I have the advantage. If I don't think I have the advantage, I'm not doing it.
No, I guess my question was, can you get an advantage off the
portal?
Like,
listen, there's people
I read a story about Navy and Oklahoma, right? So Oklahoma has a backup quarterback. Nobody's playing. The kid's a dual threat kid who can't throw. And I'm going, well, I don't know. Like to me, Navy is everybody's playing. They're cohesive. Would there be value there?
Listen, there certainly can. Look, in these games, Anthony, that's the key thing is finding the motivation. Everything's changed with this transfer portal, man. I swear, you just see it's like basically, it's like player for hire. And again, I'm in favor of the players getting paid, by the way. I think they deserve it. But at the same time, and I'm not trying to sound annoying, but like the romance of just, the guy going to school and it was your thing. It's kind of It's just a different world.
I love the bowl seat. I was a big Capital One bowl seat.
I loved it, dude. I loved every Anthony. I didn't. You could have paid me $1 zillion. I wasn't missing a bowl. Yeah. It could be my kid's birthday. I mean, it could be my kid, like the birth of my kid. I'm watching the bowl. I'm not going to miss a bowl. All right.
They kind of jumped the shark though. Once they started doing like the Duke Mayo Bowl and dumping mayo Gatorade container of mayo on coaches.
Did you see, guys? Did you see the game? The coach after the thing where he goes when they dumped the Idaho Potato Bowl. Did you see his comment?
No.
It was like a 7 overtime game. It was like I think it was like maybe
the game that played out Christmas Eve or whatever it was.
Yeah, and it wasn't the pick. It wasn't the pick game, which I watched last night.
I did not watch football.
No, it wasn't the pick game. But they asked the coach after the game when they dumped like potatoes over him, and he goes to the person being interviewed. He goes, "That's the best dump I ever took."
Oh God. Oh my God.
I laughed. I don't know. Maybe you find it funny. I laughed.
All right.
But anyway.
So no bowls for you this weekend?
No, listen. I actually did make a tiny play on Rutgers yesterday, +7. But that was and I do like the over in the Miami game. I think Ward's going to play, and against Iowa State. And if Ward plays, that total I think is sitting around 55-ish. If he plays I actually think the one thing I know about Miami, death taxes Miami scores and Miami doesn't allows points, right? And like to me, that's something that I personally think there'll be points scored in the Miami game.
The only one I'm looking for I love that Kyle McCord. He's a local kid.
He's good.
At Syracuse, they're a lot of fun to watch. And I guess they have a donkey, right? They play Washington State, so I don't know what that.
Yeah, Syracuse really, Anthony. They had a chance. I mean, they could have. It's funny how this works. They could have been playing and they could have made. They weren't that far away from being in the playoffs.
I know. If the thing was expanded, I would have loved to see Kyle in there. I really would.
And yeah, no, I mean, again, what a year he's again. I got to, but again, the way this system is, Anthony, and what they did with having Oregon play Ohio State and having James Franklin pick the order of how the Penn State gets seeded. I mean, I'm just going to call this the James Franklin Invitational. I just it's amazing to me that so think about this. You're Oregon. Just actually think about this. You beat Penn State. You see their draw. And then you see your draw. You have to be like, this is like one of these things like that's a videotape proof. Like you could just go to the prosecutor. Here's proof I'm right.
Yeah.
How are you doing this to me?
No, it's
what
insane.
is going on here?
I agree.
Horrible. And I like my idea of you pick the team that has the higher seed. Let them pick.
Yeah. I hear you. It's ridiculous. Hey, all right. Well, who you like? Who you got in the NFL?
Look, NFL, Anthony. Look, I got to tell you, I'm on an island here. I'm on an island, but it's an island. I'm guessing there with like Mr. Rourke and Tattoo. I think it's a decent island. I like Minnesota getting a point against Green Bay. I think Minnesota. I know you're going to disagree with me probably on this one. I think Minnesota's the better defense. I think they have the better offense. I think they have better coaching staff. I think they have everything better. I think Green Bay is getting a blank load of credit because they beat a awful Saints team. I think Minnesota's better. I think they'll prove they're better. The first time they teams played, they outplayed them thoroughly. Minnesota all year, in my opinion, has been shorted by the world. Usually I don't buy that stuff when they say no one believes in us. I hate that when these players say that, or coaches. I'm like, that's garbage. In this case, Minnesota, in my opinion, has been underrated all year. People just think the slipper's going to come off the shoe for Darnold. I don't think it at all. I think they're the real deal. I think they're better than Green Bay. You want to give me a point at home, but the team I think is better, I'll choke on it. And then
I agree with I like Minnesota in that game too. I think you're right.
And then listen, Anthony, I respect what Denver's done a ton, but I did bet Bengals laying 3. I think the Bengals are better. I think the Bengals are going to win. Now I get that Peyton's been incredible and maybe I'm overrating a Bengals team I don't think they're great, but I just think they're better than Denver. And I thought this line should have been closer to 4. I think that they kind of like the Chargers, beat them by 7 and they were laying, I believe, 4.5. I just think this is a game where I should be laying over a field goal, and I do think that Bengals keep their playoff hopes alive, and I think they win this game. They've been waiting for this game, and I think they get it done. I really, really do. The Eagles game's interesting. They're basically telling you that Jalen Hurts is now out.
Yeah. Any thoughts on the Eagles-Cowboys?
It's funny, Anthony. Again, give a lot of credit, right, to Dallas that they would have got if they were Anthony. They were a Leon Lett-esque play away from winning 5 in a row. I mean, I got to give. I always said be consistent or be right. I thought Dallas was done. I thought they were going to quit. I've been wrong.
I said it earlier in the show that I can't believe I'm giving credit to McCarthy, but they play hard.
But he deserves it. He deserves it.
Sunday's tough. There's no CeeDee Lamb. You shut him down.
Very tough.
I think that this is the game they lay down. I think Saquon has a monster.
I think Saquon has a monster, but Anthony, you said it, and let me ask you. I mean, I remember you said it during the preseason. I'll go back that far. When you watched Kenny Pickett play, you remember what you said? You were like, he stinks. You were like, and I got to be honest. I agree with you. Like I can't lay big points with that guy. Yeah. I can't. To me, it's a stay away game. If Hurts was playing, I'd much rather lay closer to 10 gladly.
Yes.
With Kenny Pickett, I
agree,
have no faith in this guy. None.
Let me ask you, hey Brad, what do you feel about a Eagles-Vikings tease?
Well, I would never. Well, okay, if you could tease the Vikings up to 7.5, sure. You do a 6.5 point teaser game, the 7.5. You get the Eagles down to basically a pick. Right. Yeah, I think the Eagles are going to win. I do, but again, it goes back, VG, to what I said, Anthony. I won't be able to look myself in the mirror if I see Kenny Pickett go 15 for 28, 137 yards and 2 picks, and the Cowboys win 17-14. I'll hate myself more than I usually already do normally. So I can't get myself there. I think it's going to win. I think they will win the game. But again, to me, I don't think you can overstate the drop-off, even though Hurts is not, in my opinion, elite. I think what he brings to the offense in terms of just the running threat and everything his just essence being there, I don't trust Pickett. Now, they never should have lost that Washington. By the way, I do think Atlanta-Washington's close for a 50-50 game. You can get for Anthony and VG with the Falcons. I thought they looked a lot better with Penix. I think, again, it reminds me of the Bears-Seattle game. I just think it's a game that can go either way. You want to give me 4 points, I'll take Atlanta game. I think it's going to be close.
Sounds good, buddy. Listen, always the best, all right? Enjoy the in-laws, all right?
I appreciate it.
All right, Mr. Fokker, enjoy. We love you, buddy. We'll talk to you on Monday.
Be good.
There he is, the brain, brought to us by the Bet Parks Sportsbook and Casino app. Let's tell you about that, all right? Let's talk about our friends over at the Bet Parks Sportsbook Casino online casino app. Every Friday, they do double the spread. They pick an NFL game, and they double the line. And it's been money all year long. So make sure around noontime today, in a couple hours, you go on the app and you see which game they choose to double the spread. That's right. Bet Parks presents double the spread. They have everything you want. These trash bowl games, all the NFL games you want, with all the props and passing yards and receiving yards and touchdowns. They got it all right there on the app. Plus, all your favorite casino games, live blackjack, live roulette, all the hot online slots. BetParks.com for all the details. You got to be 21. You got to be in PA, New Jersey, Maryland, Ohio, Michigan. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Talk about some TrueMark Financial Credit Union program that is super cool. If you got kids, you don't want them to end up like me and be like 18 or 19 and have no clue how to be financially responsible. And, you need some proper coaching. So TrueMark's got the ultimate playbook to teach financial responsibility with their new Greenlight account. It comes with an app, the Greenlight app, and it's totally changing the game, helping kids and teens learn how to earn, save, spend wisely. You can set up saving goals. You can track their spending, give them an allowance through it, all right there in the app. And the totally cool part is the kids get their own debit card, which if you're like 12 years old, your own debit card rules. So they can make purchases and learn real-world money skills. You control it all through the app so they can't get crazy and overspend. You get a peace of mind, and they get the freedom to make their own smart decisions with their money. And it's like coaching your kid through their very own financial game. And for TrueMark Financial members, this program's totally free. With the holidays here, now's the perfect time to introduce your kids to this Greenlight program. Get signed up today. Visit TrueMark.com/Greenlight for more information on this pretty cool program.
It is a cool program. I love that about TrueMark. That's what they do. That's the difference. TrueMark Financial Credit Union. All right. This portion of the program is brought to you by Rite Aid. Yes, RiteAid.com for the pharmacy and store nearest you, your scripts, anything you need last minute over at Rite Aid. All right, now joining us, we love him, hometown hero, NFL Network. He is must follow, must watch, anything you need to know about the NFL, this man, Mike Garafolo. Mikey G, good morning. Merry Christmas, brother. There he is. We don't hear you.
I didn't.
Here we go.
Great. I got you.
We got you.
And Merry Christmas.
How did Santa treat the girls?
They did great. They did great. They had a blast. They didn't ask for too much, which is good. So we kept it nice and small.
Yeah, right. How was it?
Just
nice.
a couple.
It's not.
Yeah, Barbie Dream
my
House.
Kids are a little older now, and I miss when they were little.
Barbie Dream House. For me, I had to put that together. 4 stories. That thing's huge. And then my wife tells me, like, it's got to go downstairs. Could you have told me that at some point during the construction process? Like, no. We're gonna have to go out. It won't go down the steps inside. It's gonna have to go out the front door and in through the garage.
Dude, I'll tell you, the worst thing was always we do a Christmas Eve, right? So we do all the fishes, and there's a house full of people, everybody's hanging. And then sure enough, like 3 a.m, I'm putting together stuff. And your eyes are like, were you up late doing that? Or did you do it early?
No, I did it. I did it in the morning after Santa dropped it off. It was wrapped in a box. So my construction was in the morning, which is fine.
Okay.
I'd rather do that than have Santa ask me to help him overnight,
Santa used to enlist me overnight. And I used to have to, I'd be going to bed at 6:15.
They just wake up.
And it'd be like coming at you at 7 o'clock. Oh, my God. But, Santa always going to help Santa. So my brother, first of all, 65 million people watched the NFL games, which weren't very good, on Christmas Day. It is amazing. That number is staggering. 65 million. I got to tell you, the league is the most powerful thing on the planet, or at least in this country.
Yeah, and like LeBron making his ploy for the NBA on Christmas Day. It's the numbers are going to tell the story, right? It doesn't matter what you say at the end of that game there, and I understand the frustration. I understand the belief by a lot of people that people are being put out to work. I always think about the stadium workers. Like the players are going to be fine, the coaches, and listen. They're making a lot of money. They've got a short-lived career. I always think about the people that have to be there to work the concessions, and my sister works at the link and at the Sixers games as well. So I know she's always asking me every year when the schedule's coming out, what are you hearing, holiday games, so those are the people that I feel for. But it's when this happens and they get this kind of feedback and they get a new partner. I mean, they took two games that would have been Fox, CBS 1:00 games, and they turned them into standalone middle of the week $150 million revenue generating games. So the way they roll. You're not gonna be able to tell them any differly. Next year it's on a Thursday.
That was part of my plan anyway. I thought they should have done this. I mean, quite frankly, they should have 3 games on Christmas, to be honest with you.
Makes you wonder why I mean, my uncle and I were going over this the other night. I said I remember back in 1993. It was a Oilers 49ers game that was on. We looked it up. Started at 5:30 Eastern, which is a weird time, but that's when it kicked. Warren Moon got hurt. Cody Carlson came in the game. And I remember that game specifically. That was Christmas night, and it used to be if the NFL, if Sunday fell on Christmas, all the games were, except for maybe one, all of them were on Christmas Eve. Well, next year you got Christmas Day on a Thursday, which is Amazon Prime's territory. Triple header. I mean, they're not going to give up their Thursday. So I assume 1-4, which honestly, yesterday I was like, I can't believe they didn't go for the night game.
Exactly.
And now what happens is you get to now maybe, again, you did it on Thursday, which allow you to keep the same number of games on Sunday. There's only, I think, 6 1:00 games on Sunday and maybe 2 at 4:00. So you're pulling.
Yeah, there's eight games.
You pulled for Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. You only got so much left on Sunday.
Yeah, but
poor Scott Hansen,
right? Like
poor Scott Hansen's gonna be twiddling his thumbs.
Right, but you know what? Who cares? Like, to me, the inventory is way better. Like, I don't need if I'm the NFL, why would I want to just bundle my inventory when I can make so much money? Saturday triple header. Like, you're right. Next Christmas on a Thursday has to be a triple header. It has to be.
They're pulling a lot of these. I mean, the Eagles Friday opener was another one that was pulled off a Sunday. I mean, that's their approach is red zone's nice and it's nice to bounce around, but do you need 8 games for that to happen, or do you need 6? Right? Like,
exactly.
You can still have the same kind of act.
I mean, listen, if I could do during the holiday season, if I could spread it out, I'd spread it out. As much as possible.
I got to tell you, and it's a confluence of things, but I think 4 o'clock. The 4 o'clock window this year has been incredibly disappointing, and I don't know why. Like, and there's been a lot of blowouts in that slot, and I'm sure going in, you look at it and you go, these are good games, and then they wind up not being good. I mean, look at yesterday. It's not like, the Germany game a couple of weeks ago. I was like, why did they schedule Giants? They knew these teams were going to be terrible. They had to know,
right?
For that Germany game. And there's only if you're going to keep doing this, you're going to have clunkers all the way around. But you're putting these teams on there in November. You look at yesterday's slate. I don't look at it and say like, oh, they were terrible games. They're supposed to be good games. They just weren't, So it's not going to stop it.
No, and nor should it. I mean, I celebrate it. I'll be honest with you. I love it. All right, what are you hearing? Obviously, Jalen, it feels like he's not going to go. And if you're a DNP all week, it's hard to get that clearance on Friday.
Well, you have to progress through you have to do stuff in practice each day. So the fact that he hasn't done anything until Thursday, he's still got a ways to go to get through the protocol here within a couple of days. So It's concussions. It's inexact. I'm not going to rule anything out, but it's looking like Kenny Pickett now. I mean, as of yesterday, it was like it was looking that way on Wednesday. Now, really looking like it's going to be Kenny Pickett here for the Eagles on Sunday, which is going to be interesting.
And they shut down CeeDee Lamb. So Cowboys say with that shoulder, and you could see how much it was bothering them the other night.
Yeah, and they said, their statement said, after reviewing another round of scans or however they phrased it, my understanding is it's not like the thing really worsened or they saw anything new. It's just, all right, what are we doing here? Like even Sunday, they were eliminated. He played in that game. They played hard for McCarthy. I heard you talk about that a couple of minutes ago. But at this point, it's like, what are we doing? Why would we risk further injury to a key guy like this? So that's why they shut him down. I was in the Eagles locker room yesterday, and Darius Slay, I thought, had some poignant comments about, he wanted to face him and he wishes him the best in his recovery. He cares more about that, the guy's overall health. I told him, I said, he's got no surgery scheduled according to the Cowboys. And he said, well, that's good that he doesn't have to get cut up on. So I thought that was a good sign of respect from Slay toward CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb. I like when these guys, appreciate the competition between one another. Yeah. You can see that from Slay.
Definitely. No, I thought of you because we debated McCarthy. I will say this, and they've played really hard for him. They did not quit. That's a testimony to him. What do you think going forward? I know you're already looking at Black Monday. It's only a week and change away.
I was reading a blog entry, a fan blog, I think it was, about what the Giants. Like, if the Giants fire Brian Daboll, here are the candidates to replace him. And Vrabel was on the list. Spags was on the list. I don't think Vrabel and Joe Shane would be a good matchup if he stays as the general manager. But Vrabel was on the list. And you know how you and I feel about Spags. The rest of the list, like, you're fine. So I use the Giants as the point because I obviously right now have a higher opinion of Mike McCarthy as a coach than Brian Daboll and what he's shown the last couple of years, although he was the coach of the year 2 years ago. So if I'm looking at that list and I don't see much for the Giants, you're going to fire this guy to hire who, right? I just don't know. And I know, the Belichick, Jerry Jones talk last year that popped up was immediately squashed by people who said that is never going to happen. So you're not even like firing him to hire a legendary coach. I don't see who else comes in there and why would I feel any better about any of these guys in 2025 than I would about McCarthy, knowing what Dak feels of him and knowing what those guys in the locker room feel.
Yeah. No, listen, it's a point well taken. Who else do you think? So you got Ben Johnson, you got Vrabel, you got Kingsbury, you got Brady, right? Yeah. I mean, are they all getting jobs?
No, probably not. And I mean, if Ben Johnson doesn't get another job, right? And he's withdrawn the last couple of years, and I'm telling you right now, I've talked to, like, it's got to be the right spot for him. It's got to be the right spot. He is he's a great offensive mind. It's got to be the right fit. And I don't know that. Like I know it's not happening with the Jets. There's no way. He's not a New York market guy. He's not. It's not.
Well, I was thinking Chicago. I mean, Chicago would make.
Yeah.
I mean,
which I understand.
Right. I mean, that would be. I mean, Lord knows that kid needs some coaching, man.
Yeah, honestly, like Chicago media market is interesting to me because they're pretty tough there. I always thought they weren't, but I've seen it the last couple of years up close and personal, because they're nice people out there in the middle. We were out there, you know that, right? But they can come. You better. It's a pressure cooker there in Chicago, especially because they haven't been successful.
Well,
right. So he comes in there.
In the manner. I mean, think about it, Mikey. They did it last night. I was watching 15 OCs. Like, they just go through coaches, head coaches, and quarterbacks. One disaster after another disaster. I mean, it's every 3 years. They're drafting a quarterback and firing a coach.
Yeah. And now all of a sudden the people that were, saying, hey, you guys are anointing Caleb like the second coming, I don't know about this one. And now, like, so this is their moment to be right. Not that they're going to be right over the long haul, but this is their moment. So I'm hearing a lot of that chirping from people around the league, saying that they were never really fully in on this guy. How did the Bears not take him in that spot? You kind of have to. But that's going to be a tough job there. I think it's going to be a real tough job there. And the one thing you keep hearing is, great offensive mind, but leader of men. That phrase keeps coming out of Chicago. I don't know that that's Cliff. I don't know if that's Ben Johnson either. I don't know.
I agree. I don't think that's Ben Johnson. If you want a leader of men, then you got to go Vrabel.
Vrabel, that's your guy. No doubt about it.
But you need an offensive guy.
Yes. And the Pete Carroll's name came up. I know Schefter reported that over the weekend. I honestly kind of like that mix of him and Caleb, to be honest with you. But who's the offensive guy, right? Who's you better come with the right plan at offensive coordinator, and it's got to work. And it's hard because a lot of these guys are head coaching candidates already. You're gonna have to pluck you could get you could do a Harbaugh, Todd Monken type deal if you can find that kind of a guy out there. Problem is, not a lot of those guys that are out there, and all the promising guys, you're going to have to take a quarterbacks coach or pass game coordinator, turn him into your offense coordinator, and hope that he hits.
Yeah. What do the Giants do, man? They're just a mess. It's unbelievable.
I wanted to ask, are they afraid the Eagles sit everybody that last game? The Giants end up winning and ruining their draft choice.
That's going to be quite the scene. Because if you get to that point, it's hard. I mean, you're still trying to win games with 4 games out, right? You get to that point, you got to have a conversation, right? Because it could, depending on how things fall, you could go from 1 to out of the conversation.
Yep.
Right? It's not like 1 to 2. All right, we're still getting one of the top 2. 1 to 6, 1 to 7. Like, that's a cluster of teams. I got to look at the numbers again, but that's and their strength of schedule doesn't bode well for them. From the last I saw, I don't know how it's changed over the last week or so. But yeah, it's going to be quite the scene the last week.
Yeah, that's going to be wild. What about the Raiders? What do the Raiders do?
I think they stay put. I think they stay put with Antonio Pierce. I do. Now, could they make a change of GM? Possibly. They could still make a head. I'm just taking. Nobody knows for sure, so I'm just taking my cues off of people that are connected, and
they're a mess
nobody
too.
Really tells you. Huh?
And I love Antonio, but that with Brady part of the ownership group, right? Like, you got to think that somebody goes in there because they need someone to take charge of that franchise.
Yeah. But they also need talent. They've got not enough. They got some young guys. I know you're looking at it and say, Telesco drafted Bowers and all these guys had a great draft class. It looks that way, but they gotta. They're so thin. They gotta go. They gotta stack some talent on that roster and need a quarterback. How do you judge Antonio Pierce with these quarterbacks that he's had this year?
Yeah,
you can't.
Yeah, I agree with you. How about
they came into the season in the preseason. Telesco was telling teams, because they were calling, Niners where other teams were calling about his receivers, Devontae and Jacoby Myers, and he told them, I got to give Antonio a fighting chance here. I can't trade one of these two guys. And they wind up not having Devontae pretty much for the entire season.
Yeah. Hey, what about our guy? You have a shot anywhere? Jacksonville?
Spags?
Yeah.
I hope so. I do. I think he deserves it.
What's his best shot? Jacksonville?
I still think the Giants could and should. I think the Giants could have and should have 10 years ago.
Yeah.
If that pops open, we'll see. I'll be interested to see if the Jets have any interest in him as well. He's been down there in New Orleans. They know him. It was a terrible year, but that wasn't his fault. It was the bounty year that he was down there. So, I think he left a good impression on the organization as a coach and as a guy. So, who knows? We'll see.
Hey, we were talking earlier about this Zach Ertz and Nick Sirianni thing. And I'm just curious, I think it might bother Jeffrey Lurie because my timeline's flooded with it right now. Like, what do you think Nick's perception around the league is with these incidents happening over and over again?
First of all, I side the Jets-Rams game. I had no idea any of this happened. And I was going back with all our people, like, did anybody see this? And he was asked about it post-game. I think Mike Sealski asked him. I guess Sealski just saw it with his own eyes because I don't think it made the rounds on social. And yesterday I'm seeing the guys in Washington, hey, here's some footage from this guy. Here's some footage from this guy. So they were sort of digging up footage at this point. So I think it even snuck by them. So, it's what's Nick's perception around the league? I think Nick's perception around the league, from the nodding into the camera a couple of years ago to I know what the bleep I'm doing that was caught on camera to his overall demeanor. I don't think he's in another world. NFL Films did a nice job on this a couple of years ago about his competitiveness, and they had him playing ping pong. Did you see that one? They had him playing ping pong in his house.
I saw
he
it.
slams the paddle on the table, and you hear his mother call from up, Nicholas, and he's like, sorry. He goes to a different level. So I just think that he just got to a point and didn't like the handshake from Ertz.
Well, listen, I was trying to explain to VG that you could do a disrespectful handshake, high five, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
you could do that. And if he thought it was disrespectful.
It's Zach Ertz. He's such a nice guy. He's not going to do disrespectful.
Zach Ertz. Do you think he's a saint?
Can Zach high-five you? He's not going to high-five you too hard.
Zach's got a little edge to him. Now, Zach's a great guy.
Come on.
But Zach and Howie got into it a couple of years ago. Remember that story?
Yes.
Right before the start of the season?
That's right.
I think it was about the contract, if I'm not mistaken.
It was.
And it all ended on a good note. I just don't know. I think that there had to be something else previously for that to just, there's some firewood there for that thing to just go up in flames like that,
Yeah. Yes.
What are you celebrating? You didn't have one catch. You didn't do nothing.
The only thing I would have did differently is I would have said, "What's up, no yak?" My brother. Listen, where you headed this weekend?
Philly. I'll be there. Eagles-Cowboys. So
that's great.
Oh, you also shout out, Mike. You have a great. I'm a hatsman. You have a great hat game on the live broadcast. Your knit hats look solid.
Oh, my knit hats. Yeah. I a couple of years ago,
game too. I like your coat game.
He does have a good coat game.
You got a good coat game. You know, when winter time is your time.
Yes.
You look you look great.
It needs to be like a Burberry model or something.
This is your time. Their time is done. Hold on. I gotta look at the weather on Sunday because
60 raining.
So I'm probably gonna wear. I just have an NFL Network waterproof jacket that's light. Is it gonna rain in the morning?
Supposed to rain all day. We're having like a nor'easter type. It's going to be temperate.
Yeah. See, I don't believe the Apple weather thing.
I got considerable cloudiness with occasional rain showers. Chance of rain 50%.
Yeah, I may just go with that. I may not go with the traditional long coat there just to make sure.
It's going to be too warm. It's going to be 60 degrees.
Oh God, no, I don't have that much. Yeah, the other jacket might be too heavy.
Do you pick out your own clothing?
Do I pick?
Yeah. Does the wife help you? Does NFL Films have someone for you?
The game's in Philly. My mother does it. No, we don't have wardrobe. We have a wardrobe department, but they're in studio in LA. You gotta dress your own garanimals when you're on the road.
When you coming down Saturday night?
No, I'll drive Sunday morning. Yeah, I'm coming from the Shore House, so I just came back. I was just there yesterday.
We're overdue.
We're way overdue.
I was told we're gonna have a little holiday cheer.
That'd be nice.
All right,
let me know. See if I can swing that.
All right, my brother, we love you, buddy. Thanks, brother.
All right, guys. Happy New Year. See you Sunday.
Eagles, Cowboys, Mikey G.
Have your people call his people. He gave you the old, it'd be nice.
Yeah, well, listen, football season, you got 2 kids. I believe me, understand it. When you got the kids, and the kids are, dude, they're just all encompassing.
Listen, when I have friends who have kids,
I was going to make plans. I'm like, I'm going. I'm coming to dinner. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. And it never works.
Yeah, when my friends have kids, it's almost like a going away party. It's like, all right, nice to know you. Kid's great. It's been nice knowing you.
You are. I mean, you try to be around.
Yeah, it just happens.
It's tough. All right, coming up, our Friday injury report with our great Rothman docs. We'll do that in a second. Baldy a little bit later on. TV Todd. But first, let's talk about some of our partners, like Rite Aid.
You know me and my Passyunk Rite Aid. Love it. I'm there, I feel like, daily. So not only do they have household goods and snacks and, I don't know, if you got to run out and get your partner some fake eyelashes, they got that already. They also have a pneumonia vaccine, which it's important. This is pneumonia season. Help protect yourself and your family from pneumonia. Adults aged 50 and older are now eligible for the vaccine. It used to be 65 and over. They've reduced it to 50. Millions of people get pneumonia every year, according to the CDC. And, it's a nasty respiratory illness. And sometimes, it jacks people up a good bit. Some people have mild symptoms, but others get serious complications, hospitalizations, all that stuff. And the vaccine is one of the best ways to keep yourself healthy. And it's usually no cost with insurance or government programs. Getting vaccinated is easy. Just walk into your local Rite Aid or schedule online at riteaid.com. Unsure of what vaccines you may need? Just ask a Rite Aid pharmacist for your personal recommendation. And stop by your local Rite Aid today and check out that pneumonia vaccine.
Yeah, I got to be careful.
I got it 3 times.
You've had pneumonia 3 times?
Hospitalized twice and almost died.
You've been in the hospital twice with pneumonia?
Yeah.
You almost died?
I almost died from it, yeah. I was like real young.
Oh, my God. That's sick,
Be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's tough. Oh, my God. Wow, yeah, be careful. All right, let's talk about Parks Casino, Street Road, Ben Salem. Yo, New Year's Eve, you're looking for something fun to do, head on over to Parks Casino, Street Road, Ben Salem. All right, right off of 95, the PA Turnpike, a mecca of entertainment. You got incredible, the Parks Grill Steakhouse, the Bamboo Noodle House, all the great restaurants, the Liberty Bell Gastropub. It's all right there. All the games, everything else. It's the best. So head on over to Parks Casino. Also, make note of all the entertainment, the fine at the Excite Center. The greatest comedians and musical acts coming to the Excite Center. Here you go. Just announced, Larry the Cable Guy, May 16th.
Get her done.
He's the voice in the car movie,
Cars.
right?
He's Mater.
He's right. Okay.
Yeah, he's Mater.
Yeah, I saw that. I've seen everyone. I miss those movies.
Yeah.
With the kids.
My nephew loves
Cars 2, Cars 3.
Yeah, my nephew loves
So did
Cars.
my Anthony.
Yeah.
Cars 4. You'll be an adult all by yourself going to see Cars 4.
That's a violation. Can't be an adult by yourself.
At a kid's movie.
No, that's creepo. A second show for comedian Ron White, March 20th.
Can't fix stupid.
SNL's Colin Jost returns 2 nights at Parks Casino, March 14th and 15th.
Oh, Scarlett, you looked wonderful Christmas Eve.
Country artist Cole Swindell, February 7th.
Here's Carolina, tails California.
Get those Parks Casino gift cards right now for all the holidays. January 18th, the reggae sounds of Shaggy.
Girl, you're my angel. You're my darling angel.
That's pretty good. You guys sound good there. February 8th, Jerry Cantrell from Alice in Chains.
If I could you?
Country star Lee Bryce, March 22nd.
Well, there's a rumor going around about me and you.
ParksCasino.com to buy tickets for all shows. Parks Casino, this is how you win. You got to be 21 if you have a gambling problem. Please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Can they throw us a bone? There's like Slaughters coming, Firehouse, Warrant, Great White. All these great hair metal bands are coming. I can't get a mention to sing a little Great White.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my wheelhouse is coming. They're all coming to Park Excite. I'm looking at the Excite
we'll
list.
We'll do our own read. All right, well, let me know. All right,
yeah,
because you are a hair guy.
I wish I was a hair guy.
Well, but you're a hair metal guy.
Yeah.
All right, that's for sure. All right, every Friday it's the Friday Injury Report presented by Rothman. That's right. The great docs at Rothman join us, and we have a terrific doc with us today. Dr. Stephanie Gwynn joins us to talk about kneecaps.
Oof.
Yes, yeah, the Tank Dell injury. Ooh, that was scary. Good morning, Doc. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
How was your holidays?
It was great. I got I have 2 little boys in daycare, and they also brought home something for me. So apologies about my voice.
I know. Listen, I got 2 boys. When they were young like that, forget about it, man. They were like human petri dishes. You're sick like 5 times a year.
Yeah, there's no rest for the weary here.
How old are your kids?
3 and 1.
Oh, that's great. We were just talking. My wife and I were just talking about how we miss, because mine are 11 and 15 now, and when they're little, Christmas is the best. I mean, it's always great, but it's even more special.
It was really special with the 3-year-old this year. First year, really understood it.
Yeah, that's great. All right, let's talk kneecaps, okay? Let's talk knees. Now, we always make the disclaimer that Doc is not treating Tank Dell. We're talking about the injury and when this stuff happens. And this was a pretty gruesome one, all right? It's a dislocated kneecap. What causes that?
So just a dislocated kneecap often happens just when you're kind of planting and twisting the knee. When kneecaps dislocate, they tend to dislocate towards the outside part of the knee. So usually you're twisting in and that kneecap comes out. Tank Dell obviously injured a couple other ligaments as well. And he had the contact.
Yeah, he had the PCL, the MCL, and he got nailed right on it. Oh, man.
Correct.
You saw it. And everybody, when you see, listen, we're all football fans, we're all sports fans like you, Doc. So when you see an injury like that, you channel that injury and you feel it yourself. You go, oh my God, that was a nasty one.
It's hard. Anytime you see the stretcher come out and the ambulance, it's hard to watch.
What's the typical recovery time for something like that?
For just a dislocated kneecap, recovery time sometimes can be as quick as 6 weeks. For an injury like Tank had with all of the other ligaments, he's looking at least a year.
Oh man, Whoa. Really? That's a lot. That's nasty. That a year. Yeah. Wow.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
What's the rehab like? Like, what do? You have to you have to fix the ligaments, and then what's that rehab like?
Yeah. So anytime you injure yourself like that, the knee fills up with blood. So you have to do a lot to get the swelling down and work on that range of motion pretty quickly. And then given all of the ligaments that he tore, he might have to have multiple surgeries to reconstruct his knee. You also worry about an injury like he had. You worry about vascular injury, which fingers crossed he didn't have any injury to the blood vessels. But that's also something you concern about. Fortunately, he has the best of the best resources, so he'll be getting rehab immediately. And he's an NFL athlete, right? So he's a superhuman. And they tend to heal like that.
Except, man, you playing wide receiver. It's such a shame because he had played really well. He kind of had his breakout year, and that's the tough thing about it. Did you guys watch football on Christmas Day? Did you have it on?
We had the game on. We had the Chiefs on.
It's been 65 million people watch Netflix on Christmas Day. Is that I think about that, Doc? That's what a number. I mean, this isn't the Super Bowl. This is just Christmas Day. Everybody's tradition is to watch the NFL.
Yeah, it's cool. It's special.
Yeah, it really is. What's your favorite sport? What did you play growing up?
I played volleyball at Penn.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Quakers.
He's a Quaker right here.
Yeah.
VG.
Yeah. All right.
That's fantastic. Doc, listen, feel better, all right? Thanks for hanging with us and getting up. And best to the kids. Happy New Year.
Thank you, guys. Happy New Year.
There she is, Dr. Stephanie Gwynn. It's our Friday injury.
Knew she was smart.
That's right, Penn. How about that? Here you go. Hey, VG, we got Baldy coming up, but first, speaking of hair bands,
or lack of hair,
let's talk about Glad.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about our friends over at Glad Hair Restoration by Morgan Stern Medical. If you're thinning out up top, I know what it's like. I've been there. Don't wait too long. Get some help while you can. Glad Hair Restoration by Morgenstern Medical was established by the late and great Dr. Paul Glatt. It's under direction now of renowned plastic surgeon Ken Morgenstern. Doctors Glatt and Morgenstern, they had a remarkable bond that spanned many years, both as colleagues and friends. They worked on research projects together. They worked in the operating room together. And, what makes Glad Hair Restoration by Morgenstern Medical better than the other options out there? Well, it's the same peerless approach to care and the same expert team that they've been doing this for over 30 years, the same unmatched Glatt system, same state-of-the-art location. And each member of this exceptionally trained team, well, they bring over 30 years of industry experience, and hair restoration is all they do. They don't mess around with any other plastic surgery. They just do hair. Glad Hair, they can help during all stages of hair loss with leading-edge treatments for prevention and restoration, including laser light therapy and non-invasive TED treatments. Each patient receives a complimentary one-on-one consultation to pinpoint your best course of treatment, and a caring patient advocate works with you from your first phone call to your last follow-up because they know it's an emotional decision. Glad Hair isn't just about restoration, it's about innovation. Their breakthrough treatments really do dramatically change lives. Change your hair, change your life. Bald is now optional, thankfully. And if you want to improve how you look and how you feel about yourself, Glad Hair has the right treatment for you. Regain your confidence and visit gladhairmctr.com or give them a call, 610-980-4000 to get started.
All right. Thank you, my brother. Now it's time for the meat locker. And the one, the only, Baldy.
Baldy, Baldy. Oh, let's talk some football. Baldy, Baldy. Oh, he likes meats and football.
Oh, Baldy. There he is. Merry Christmas,
Morning,
brother.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Hope everybody had a healthy and happy one. It was all good here in South Florida with me. Had a good time.
Are you still in Florida?
I'm still in Florida to a Christmas Eve party on Tuesday night. Went pretty good. Did a bunch of stuff on Christmas Day. Watched a little bit of the games. Not that many because the games were terrible.
Yeah, they were bad.
But did study them all day yesterday, so I got caught up.
You know what's nuts? I've been talking about it all morning, but the number is stunning. 65 million people, brother.
I don't think Netflix makes a lot of mistakes. So when they announced it last year that they were paying $75 million a game, so $150 million to air 2 games on Netflix, they had a pretty good idea that the global reach, which accounted for a good deal of the numbers you're talking about, the global reach was going to be pretty good. So, I mean, every expat, I don't know, living in Germany, living wherever, like they probably had it on. So they probably got a bunch of new subscribers. They paid for it, $150 million. There's nothing bigger than the NFL. It took away from the NBA. That was always NBA Day with Christmas.
They have 5 million viewers, the NBA.
5 million.
On Christmas Day.
I mean, think about that. 65-5. They get routed. And it used to be their holiday.
This is their day, yeah.
That was their day. I mean, I remember going to see, because I remember when I was young, growing up in New York, taking the Long Island Railroad into Madison Square Garden on Christmas to go see the Knicks play.
Yeah.
Scalping $10 tickets, take my brothers to the game, whatever. Like, I remember seeing the Knicks on Christmas, like a couple of different times. Like, that's what it was. That was the NBA. But every time we think, and we think this a lot because we say it a lot, that we've reached the saturation point. We haven't reached it. We've got 3 games on Saturday. We had 2 games on Christmas. We've had 2 games on Monday night. We never seem to be at the saturation point.
No, what's bizarre is, and like you, listen, I made my bones. I covered Christmas Day in Chicago with Jordan. Like I had, I used to work Christmas Day, and it was nuts, and it was everything. What is it? Like those 2 games were not good, right? Like,
no,
but listen, I watched I had it on, but my God, the Texans are just woeful, right? I mean, it was just bad. The Steelers offensively can't move the ball. I mean, what is it about the
Well,
sport?
we did have two of the league's biggest stars in Lamar and Mahomes.
Yeah.
So we did have, because if you're watching last night and you're watching Caleb Williams just run around like he ran around, Geno Smith just doing it's unwatchable football.
Yeah.
But at least with Mahomes and Lamar, you've got major star power.
Yeah.
And they deliver. They both deliver. So both teams are playing great. So while they just pummeled their opponent, you at least got to see one side of the ball. And then, you come away Christmas Day and you go, the Chiefs are going to three-peat. Who's going to beat them? They played without their best defensive player, and they still shut out Houston. And so it's just, I think that had something to do with it. And then, they did it early enough in the day, 1 o'clock, 4:30. So you still had Christmas night, you still had Christmas morning. I feel like they kind of worked it around the day. Or if you're traveling, I was traveling on Christmas from house to house, it was on in every house, so I didn't feel like we got away from it that much.
Yeah, I know. I feel you. It's weird because what used to be families would watch movies, that's now now it's football that took place. Real quick with the Chiefs. So they kick out Thuney to tackle, and that seems to have fixed that line because they have all the weapons now.
Yeah, no, they changed two positions to fix one. Thuney has been unreal. In this win streak right now, the points have gone way up. The negative plays are way down. They're not 2nd and 20 after a holding call or a sack. Thuney's been unreal. They put this kid Caliendo in there at left guard. They played really well together. They've seen some really good pass rushers. I mean, those guys just got done seeing, Daniil Hunter and, Myles Garrett the last couple of weeks. I mean, none of those guys are affecting the offense right now. Now you got Worthy rolling. You got got Hollywood Brown there. You got Kelsey, Justin Watson. It's full speed ahead to go three-peat right now. They're going to have the number 1 seed. It's going to go through Kansas City. I don't know. Does Buffalo go in there and win? Can Cincinnati finish out and get help and get in, bring Burrow back there? I don't know who could go in there and win right now, honestly. Maybe Baltimore can, the way, Lamar's playing and Derrick Henry, possibly. But they're going to be the favorite to get back there again.
The Ravens' defense is playing better.
The what?
Ravens' defense is
playing
better.
They fixed a lot of things. They brought in Tre'Davious White. They got Kyle Hamilton healthy. Brandon Stevens is playing good. The big thing is the pass rush has really picked it up. Right now, Odafe Owe, you're looking at Ojabo, you're looking at Kyle Van Noy, Matabike. They're awake. They were a kind of that bear in the woods. So they were sleeping the first half of the season. The defensive line right now has really picked things up. Roquan looks like he's 10 pounds lighter. He's running a lot better, and they're not breaking down the back end. So they're playing much, much better right now.
Yeah, you can't run on them. I mean, that's going to be a big key. You can't run on them. NFC, let's start Birds. So it looks like it's going to be Pickett on Sunday. Cowboys shut down CeeDee Lamb, and the Eagles-Cowboys. It lost a little. I miss when it was it mattered.
Well, this is really the first year, cuz, where it doesn't look like it matters.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
For the first time in a long time.
Yeah.
Where these two teams have played, and first place isn't on the line. But I will say this: Dallas's offense since Thanksgiving has woken up. They've played a lot better. Dowdle's been a good player for him. He's run the ball really well. They got 3 backup offensive linemen they're playing. They played pretty well. Hoffman, I think BB's back at center, so maybe Hoffman will be a right guard. But they played better. And then defensively, they picked it up. So, if you watch, I know you did, but, as soon as Jalen got hurt last week, they just packed it in to stop the run game. And they said, okay, Pickett, go beat us. And he made some throws. But, even with 5 turnovers, they didn't capitalize on it. So, I'm sure Dallas is looking at the same type of thinking, is Pickett really going to beat us? Throwing it with Micah Parsons buzzing around the way he's played the last the last month he's played really, really good. So, that's a challenge for Philadelphia right now.
And in fairness to Pickett, right? I mean, now you at least have a week of practice, and the game plan is going to be around what you do.
Well, I mean, look, he came in cold. He hadn't played since the middle of last season.
Right.
So he hadn't played any football in over a year. Comes in, he does throw 3 straight passes, including a touchdown to A.J. Brown. So you got A.J. feeling happy. He got in the end zone. I mean, it was enough. Now, it was a perfect storm. I mean, Devontae drops a touchdown pass. Saquon drops a pass. They lose Chauncey Gardner-Johnson for whatever. I have no idea. But, McCollum out there at safety was lost in the end zone a few plays. I did talk in that game. It was interesting. I talked to Terry McLaurin before the game. I'm like you watch every game, Terry. Like, does anybody challenge, Quinyon? He's like, we're going to go after him today. And it was the first time they really challenged Quinyon down the field. And he just gave up too much room on the play. Like, if he had to do the play over, he wouldn't give him that much field to work with. It was a great throw by Jaden, and he gave him too much space to work. But I just don't understand teams that don't even challenge him. It's not that he's not a good player, but the respect that he's gotten to this point, it seems a little ridiculous to me.
How do you see a potential rematch between Eagles and Washington? That's what it feels like, first round.
Well, I mean, I don't really think that Washington can stand in there and take on the Eagles front. Now, they did, but, honestly, those linebackers were 2 yards off the ball. They was like, if Jalen's back in there and you've got to account for everything, I mean, I think it changes some things. Right. I don't believe the Eagles will turn it over like they did. I don't think that Washington's going to give it up 5 times, but a third time in a division game, I mean, all the tendencies. I think it would be a competitive game. I thought it would be competitive last week. But it's in Philly. I've never seen that stadium ever rock like that since that stadium was built. I thought we were back at, JFK or RFK Stadium, to be honest, the way that place was rocking.
With the Hogs, RFK. All right, that makes some sense of the other divisions. The South, Atlanta, Tampa. Atlanta with Penix now. Tampa, who you like? Who comes out of that?
Well, I like, Tampa's playing Carolina at home this week. I like Tampa to take care of business. Atlanta will play Washington. Washington's fighting for a playoff spot. They're going to get the very best, but Penix played great. I mean, if you look at the stats, he threw an interception, but, Kyle Pitts dropped the ball at the goal line. Yeah. But he moved the team. He made good, quick decisions.
That's our guy, you remember.
Quick, accurate decisions with the ball. He played good. So I think it's going to come down to this game with Washington. Can they take care of business and get themselves in the playoffs against Michael Penix?
All right. The West, Rams, Seattle. Rams play Arizona Saturday night prime time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the last game on Saturday. The Rams are cooking. I can't see the Rams losing this game. I just can't. Kyron Williams, the guy is going into last week, not counting the games just got played. He had more carries than anybody in the NFL. I think maybe Saquon or Derrick Henry took him over, but the offense runs through him. And, right now the young defense is playing good enough. I think the Rams, they win the division. They've got the advantage right now. I know Seattle won last night somehow, but, they don't look like a playoff team to me. Offensively, they're just, Geno made some terrible decisions last night.
Horrible.
But I like the Rams to win the division.
And then finally, the North is where it's at. Green Bay, Minnesota on Sunday. That's the 4:25 game. Of course.
All right. So help me out with this, cuz you're on top of all this, and you talk to all these people at parks and all these places. How in the world is Green Bay going into Minnesota as a favorite? So Minnesota's won 8 in a row.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of, the Packers are a public team. B, they're coming off of the Saints are terrible, so they destroy the Saints, right? Think about who Green Bay's won. On Sunday Night Football, they go to Seattle, they destroy Seattle. Now, the Seattle State, like you just said it. They on Monday night, they destroy the Saints. So 2 high-profile games, they've destroyed their opponents. So I think they're inflated.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, Sam Darnold is playing at the highest of levels.
Yeah.
Like they have receivers that are unstoppable at this point. They do, and defensively, if you give that defense a lead and you let Flores go to work on you, like you're going to turn the ball over. Like they lead the league in interceptions. I don't know. Green Bay's playing good football. Matt LaFleur is a great coach. They can run the ball. I think they'll be able to run it on Minnesota. I just think this is a tough spot for Green Bay. They're going to be in the playoffs regardless, but I feel like Minnesota knows right now. They played Detroit week 18. They know that's what it's going to, like the number 1 seed is in that game.
Yeah.
Like they've got all the motivation in the world right now to finish this thing out.
Dude, I agree with you. I think you're spot on. My only thing would be in matchup, I've seen Minnesota's secondary get beat a little bit. So I'm curious to see what Love can do down the field. But I'm with you. I think, conversely, I think Minnesota should be able to go up and down the field on them.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game.
Yeah.
I think both offenses are going to benefit. Both teams have new defensive coordinators. They both are outstanding. Jeff Hafley's done exactly what he said he wanted to do. He wanted to play man coverage. He wanted to take the ball away more. He wanted to sack the quarterback more than they did last year. They're doing all those things in Green Bay.
Hey, Baldy, I had a question just related back to the Eagles. Jeff Stoutland, he's the O-line coach, but also the run game coordinator. Like, what does that entail? Like, how involved is he? Like, what is that title? What's he doing that title?
Well, so let's just say it was a normal week. Normal week installment is you install the offense on Wednesday. Typically Tuesday's the day off. So you come in on Wednesday, you're in an offensive meeting. Staff's going through the run game in front of the whole offense. Receivers, offensive line, quarterbacks, running backs. Like this is what we're gonna lean on this. We're gonna attack the weak side running this power play. We're gonna attack the strong side with YY formations. He's installing the run game to the team. And then when you're doing inside 9-on-7 inside drill on Wednesday out practice, like he's kind of running the script. It's his script. This is what we're working on right here. This is the card drill. This is what the defense we want to give us. You're playing Dallas. All right, here's where Mozzie Smith's going to line up. Here's Odigizua. He's giving you the defense, the fronts, down distance. Okay, 3rd and 5. If we run, this is what we're going to see. This is how we're going to attack it. Like he's doing the installment there. It's a big job.
Hey,
fascinating.
It is interesting. Hey, real quick, did you ever think that you would be called Deshaun Jackson coach?
I'm still scratching my head. Now, look, Delaware State. I know 2 players that came out of Delaware State. John Taylor, and the Eagles had a center from Delaware State. You can't even find Delaware State, bro. I went there to do a football camp one time. I felt like I was driving to Virginia. It took so long to get there. I wonder, I know Eddie George is coaching at Tennessee State.
Yes.
Okay. They've got no facilities, no money. Kids got to stay eligible. I have no idea how Deshaun Jackson's going to do this. And what has prepped him for this? What in this background has prepped Deshaun Jackson to do this?
And by the way,
coach a high school team, do something to get yourself ready for this.
I didn't know that he was that organized. He had a little bit of an AI syndrome where he would show up kind of when you wanted to show up.
Yeah, I kind of thought that was I thought he had a better chance of doing a duet with Snoop Dogg. Okay, in some recording studio, than organizing this week's offensive game plan or Delaware State against, I don't know, Norfolk State.
I'm telling you, Baldy, you and I, we got to take over Rowan, man. Let's go.
I'm telling you. Like, if we take over Rowan, can we beat Deshaun at Delaware State? Can we put a game plan together to beat Deshaun Jackson?
Forget Deshaun. I want Belichick.
All right, well, you got to beat us. That staff is coming together. He got his son Steve over there coaching the defense.
I know.
Yeah, I'm sure Lombardi's kids will both be there. Mickey and Matt, they'll both be there. I'm sure as well. Yeah, it'll be a lot of nepotism going on at Chapel Hill these days.
By the way, thanks for watching on YouTube, on Roku and Xfinity and Samsung. We appreciate it. We continue on YouTube as always. Baldy, where are you headed this weekend?
I'm going to Cleveland. We had a change. The games got flexed this week, so I had to do a late game, and there's only 2 late games. So I'm going to Cleveland. I'll see if Miami can win a game in cold weather, stay alive, somehow get in the playoffs. So I'm going to go to Cleveland.
What happened to? I mean, listen, I know the Tua stuff, but he's been back now for a bit. What is wrong with that team?
Defensively, they're very good. Offensively, they can't. They struggle to run the ball, and Tyreek Hill doesn't look anything like last year at this time we were seeing if he was going to break Calvin Johnson's record, go for 2,000. He doesn't look anything like that player this year. Nothing. So they're not getting any big explosive plays. I haven't seen Jalen Waddle used to do the waddle in the end zone after you score. I haven't seen him do the waddle in forever. Like, those guys are not impacting the game the way we're used to seeing them.
No. Hey, last thing, Bill Berge passed, and I know you've had encounters with Bill. He was a great guy, number 66, one of my first memories.
Well, I mean, Bill Berge came out of the lineage when everybody knew who the middle linebacker was. Like, the teams were built around the middle linebacker. And that's what Bill was, wherever he played. And so the one thing I always respected about Bill was getting to know him, after he retired and I came to Philly and all this stuff. 2 things. One, he was never bitter about the game. And there's a lot of older guys that are bitter about the money, the game, you put a dress on these guys, like it's not football. Like, he never did that to the game. And then, the guy had, he had a great, great career. Like, he never was out there bragging about himself, about that. Like, he put himself in his place, and he never inflated his abilities. And so we all knew, he played in the era of Butkus and, all these middle linebackers that we all remember. And that was the golden age of football, was the middle linebacker, going back to Concrete Charlie. I mean, that was how defenses were built. That's the guy that you had to pay attention to, and that's what Berge did.
It's funny you said that, man. I love the middle linebacker. I mean, from Singletary, right?
Yes.
With the eyes. I mean, the middle linebacker you're right. He was God. Way bigger than the edge guy, right? Like the defensive end.
We didn't talk about corners or sack monsters or anything. We talked about a defensive line as a line, purple people eaters, the fearsome foursome. Like, we talked about them as a group, but it was always about the middle linebacker. And so for pick a team, pick Green Bay, like, you can see the middle, Mike Curtis with the, Baltimore Colts. I mean, pick a team. I'll tell you who the middle linebacker was in that golden era.
Steelers, Raiders.
Jack Lambert, like, we just knew going around the league who that feared guy in the middle of the defense was.
Carl Mecklenburg.
Yes, from the Broncos.
Great
Carl
name.
Mecklenburg.
Good call, man. Number 77.
Yeah, that's right. That was awesome.
Hey, why we have? I mean, can I ask you one more question? Non-football related. You're one of the wisest people I know. I've been spending a lot of time in my mom's house. It was just close to your neck of the woods and NFL films. And every night the drones are out. What is going on with the drones, in your opinion, Baldy? UFOs, government people, what's happening?
Good question. Good question, because we can't get a straight answer on it. I don't know. Like, I don't know who's flying and what they're designed to do. Because everybody, like, I see all these Christmas gifts being passed out. I have a friend of mine, he's got all these drones. Like, he's a drone guy. So he's always flying his drones. I don't know what they do. But I don't know what the purpose is. Like, if you want to spy on somebody, just turn your phone on. You get anything you want from a phone. What do we need a drone for? To find out information about a thing, a person, an organization, whatever. I don't know what the purpose is.
That's a good point. Like, there's many different ways. Now, China had the spy balloon before it was shot down.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
they only got shot down after they went across the entire country.
I know.
You know, so they
I know, it was ridiculous. You know, and we get them like near my house. I look, I'm like, these things are bizarre too.
Yeah.
They're like the size of a small car.
They're giant.
Right? Yeah. And they're different colors, like red, green.
Yeah.
You're like, what the hell?
Some hover. Some
no, but I saw one on a video the other day, where it was like the size of a Toyota.
Yeah.
And it was flying over Las Vegas. And I didn't know if it's just AI, if it's real. Like, you don't even know anymore what's real and what's not real. Somebody just planted over the sky. It's not even real. Like, I don't even know anymore.
I know. Yeah, the world's crazy. Baldy, listen, safe trip to Cleveland. All right?
Yes.
We love you. We'll talk to you next week for New Year's.
You got it, cuz. Happy
Thanks,
New Year
brother.
to you, man. All the best. Hey, by the way, listen to this. I got some breaking news for you.
What do you got?
So, you know, Jason Kelce has a new national show that starts next Friday, January 3rd in Philly.
Yeah.
They're taping it in Philly. So it's a live audience. He's got a band. It's a late night talk show.
Right,
and guess who his first guest is? Yes. Guess who his first guest is?
No.
Yes. So next Friday, Jason Kelce come on there. I don't know what he wants to talk about or what he wants to do, but I'm ready for anything. So I'm going to be joining Jason in his inaugural show.
Oh, that's fabulous! It literally is around the corner where he's shooting the show from our studios.
Is it on Spring Garden?
Yeah, we're all 10th at Spring Garden. We're right around the corner from the place. Yeah.
So that's so he's shooting it every Friday all the way up to the Super Bowl. So that's the show that airs on ESPN.
Yeah, it's going to be great, and you can't go wrong with the great Baldy.
I mean, is it possible to get a post-show tequila with Baldy? You telling me this next Friday, maybe, Baldy?
Well, I mean, for example, we're airing. We tape the show from 4:30 to 5:30. So to me, 5:30, that's happy hour on Friday.
Yeah,
like, I think it's going straight to tequila.
Let's go.
Dreams
do
come true.
All right, I'll give you all the information.
All right, we're in. All right,
see you guys.
See you, pal. The great Baldy.
Never
we
ceases to amaze.
No, we got.
But you better clear your schedule now. No scrimmages next Friday. Clear that schedule.
I will. I'll make sure. All right. Time now on a Friday to talk to our man, TV Todd. Act like a man. You can't handle the truth.
It's time for TV Todd.
Todd. Good morning,
Cuz. How you doing, buddy?
Good. Todd was over the house for Christmas Eve. Nice. It was a pleasure to have you and your lovely wife and your lovely daughter.
That was fun. I love the whole Cuz scene. And I'm telling you, I'm just going to say this, and I'm just going to lead this out there. The greatest scallops I have ever had in my 57 years of living.
How are the smelts?
He didn't take.
Well, I'm not a smelts guy. I'm not a smelts guy, but I can attest to the.
No, he tried everything. He had the crab gravy.
Yeah.
He had the
lobster bisque.
The lobster bisque.
All right.
You know,
a little disappointed.
Yeah.
I thought he'd have a smelt.
Now, VG, I'm more like you. I don't need the heads and the eyeballs looking at me.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Well, if I'm at your house, maybe I have a smelt.
I can attest though that Cuz's father loved the smelts. The whole plate was in front of him.
Like they're chips.
The whole plate The whole plate was in front of him, and he just was downing them.
Is there a pile of bones on the plate?
But I'm telling you, man, VG, the scallops, I won't give away his recipe, although I watched it closely, and I'm going to try it. Fantastic.
All right.
And you know what's funny? I don't eat them.
You don't?
No.
Have you tasted your own scallop?
No.
What?
I've never tasted the scallops.
What?
Yeah. I don't eat them.
Weird.
I know.
I love scallops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I the only thing I'm not the biggest seafood guy. I love the crab. So I do the crab and that's, that simmers all day.
Of course he loves the crab. With those man hands, I would love the crabs too. You just smash them like walnuts in your hands.
Do you pan sear with a little glaze?
What's that?
The scallop?
No, I can't tell.
Can't you eat them fresh too, like right out of the water? I thought you could eat scallops right out of the water. Almost like an oyster.
Sushi?
Yeah.
Like a sushi deal?
I don't know if you can do that.
I don't know, brother.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, but Frazier, what he does though is he adds some, I'm not going to give away his recipe. He adds some liqueur and then he adds a little, I'll say this, but a little vanilla extract and the whole thing caramelizes. And I'm telling you, it's the best. You need to do a cooking segment on this show where he does this.
Yeah. 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 Actually, people love it.
You gotta try these.
Yeah.
What are you wearing? A Spectrum shirt?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a great
Right.
shirt.
Flyers
Right.
orange.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm ready for the big road trip.
Well, always this time of the year, always the West Coast. It's great. Ever since, always, here you go. They're I wrote it down. Anaheim tomorrow. The Kings Sunday. I always love when they played the LA Kings. Rogie Vachon. Marcel Dion.
Luke Robitaille.
Drew Robitaille. Sharks Tuesday. Vegas Thursday. And then they're going to end in Toronto. Ooh.
You know what? This is a good time. They're in a bit of a funk right now. I think they need a road trip to they play great on the road.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, he's
They really
brutal.
do.
I thought Harrison was better than that. Oh my God. They're terrible.
I thought it was great. I thought it was great when Torts, a few games ago talked about it in the presser and said, I'll be honest. He goes, our goalies make great saves at times, but they're not timely. They need to make more timely saves. I thought that was a very good, honest assessment of where these guys are. There are times where they look spectacular for moments, but when you need them to hold that goal, it's tough.
They're averaging, giving up 5.6 goals a game over the last 5. Whew.
Yeah, that's bad.
Like most hockey over-unders are like 5.5 for the whole game.
Yeah, you're giving up that to the one team. That's crazy. Hey, speaking of TV and sports, it's been a theme all morning, but it's such a big number that I got to get you to address it. 65 million people watch the NFL on Christmas Day, 2 games, and they weren't very good, but 65 million people to 5 million from the NBA. And they just hijacked the whole thing. I mean, put in perspective how big that number is.
Yeah, it's enormous when you think of, what are we seeing on average football games per week? What, like 13, 14 million, something along those? I mean, this is a ridiculous number. But listen, who knows if the number's even real or legitimate? At the end of the day, I've done Netflix series before. I've worked with them. I can't get a straight answer on viewers or what the algorithms are saying. And how do we know that that's really just people watching football and not everybody streaming all the new stuff on Netflix? Like, I don't know. I don't know. That number does sound ridiculously big to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. But I will say this. It feels like everybody I talk to had football on.
We just throw it on in the background. Put the TV on. We had 2 TVs going. We had a Christmas story on one TV and the football game on the other TV.
Yeah, we had football all day.
Yeah. Not that anyone was sitting down watching the whole game, but it's just on.
My uncle did.
Yeah. It's amazing how it's become part of the holiday. Like people, it's a companion piece.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. And, I don't know. I heard you talk earlier, Cuz, that you had some buffering issues. I didn't experience that. And it doesn't sound like as many, it sounds like a lot fewer people experience that than the Tyson fight. So maybe they're figuring that out, but that's something you have got to master if you're going to this medium. You have to.
Yeah. You
Listen,
got
when you live where tumbleweeds roll down the street, you're going to have some buffering issues. That's why you got to stay near the technology.
Oh, let me tell you something. The Cuz lives in the Cuz's neighborhood is phenomenal. I pulled into the Cuz's neighborhood. I'm like, look at this guy. Look how this guy's living.
You got a gate? Is there a gate? You got to get past the guy at the gate?
No. The house
it felt
Here's
gate-like.
There's architects living across the street from me. Mm-hmm. 2 architects. So their house is ridiculous. There's
they
a couple. Please.
Cuz's house is beautiful. It is beautiful. The Cuz's house. You're out of control. Your house was beautiful. The family was beautiful. It was a great night.
Buddy. Yeah, we had a blast. So what are we watching this weekend?
All right. So I got to, listen, we're smack dab in the middle of the big Christmas releases. And last week at the Reading Terminal Market, we talked briefly about the big Christmas movies that are, being pushed, like, Complete Unknown or Mufasa or Nosferatu and all those. But I want to add a few more to the list because I saw a movie last night on Netflix that, I kind of overlooked it. And a couple people recommended it to me. And I believe, if this movie were pushed to the theaters, this should be the biggest film of the Christmas season. It's that good. Wow. And I am not a Tyler Perry fan. I usually do not like his movies. This movie was fantastic. It's called The 688. And what it means is 688 is a battalion in World War II. And Tyler Perry directed this movie. And it's the true story of a all-black female battalion during World War II that was sent to Europe on a mission. And it truly is one of the best films I've watched this season.
Wow.
Kerry Washington was one of the producers. She plays one of the main characters in it. Completely true story. At the end, they show you the real stuff, what happened. I don't want to give away the plot because I think the plot is super interesting. But it's really great movie. Very much, to me, I got the vibes of League of Their Own. It's very much like League of Their Own. But it is fantastic. If this one were in the theaters, this would be the #1 film I'd push people to watch. On Netflix, I think it's the #1 film on Netflix right now, and it's well worth it.
All right. Off of that vein, if you have 5 movies to watch between now and the end of the holidays, give them the 5 movies that they have to watch. New stuff. Well, I'll just go on the list that I'm gonna do because I haven't gotten to see everything yet. So I'm going to see. I know Andrew's going tonight. I'm going to see Nosferatu, and that did really, really well starting on Christmas Day. I'm definitely going to see that. I think I do want to see Baby Girl, the Nicole Kidman movie. I do want to see a movie called The Fire Inside, which was just released. The Fire Inside. Have you heard about this one, cuz? That's the boxing movie, right? The female boxing movie?
The boxing movie. Yeah. Apparently, this woman, Clarissa Shields, she goes by T-Rex. She's a boxer from Flint, Michigan, and she's talked about as the greatest female boxer of all time. And this is a story of how she became, I believe, our first country, that she won the first Olympic gold medal and only gold medal in the sport. And so people I know saw it in the last couple of days and said it's being completely overlooked. It's in the theater and absolutely worth seeing. So there's that. I definitely want to see that. What else is out? Oh, I haven't gotten to it yet, but I'm going to probably tonight watch Conclave finally.
Oh, right.
I just watched that. Phenomenal.
What'd you think?
I loved it. So good. Great story. Great twist. Great.
Yeah.
It was great.
And then I think I probably would direct people to see the Bob Dylan biopic. Only because, I know it's not for everybody, but again, great, James Mangold, great team put this together. It's getting wonderful reviews. I think those are the films that I'm going to see certainly over the next few days.
Dude, I was at a party like 2 weeks ago, and I met the author of the book that Dylan, Complete Unknown, is based off. He lives in Philly. He's in South Philly, this guy. He's written a bunch of music books that have done really well. And he was impressed by the performance. He said he sounds like Dylan. He played all the music himself, sang it, Chalamet, and he was pretty impressed.
Wow, that's pretty good.
I think that's really cool. And listen, I applaud that trend. We've been seeing a trend lately of artists who are going, when you play an iconic character like a Bob Dylan or someone who's playing Amy Winehouse or someone, playing Jim Morrison or something like that. If you don't do it genuinely, it comes off cartoonish and characterish, right?
Yeah.
So the idea that these actors, like, the woman who did Amy Winehouse and then Timothy Chalamet, the idea that they're going to sing and they're going to work on it, it's what Val Kilmer did years ago with the Oliver Stone film.
Yeah.
It makes it so much better.
It does.
So much better.
Yeah. Val
So
Kilmer, he did a great job as Jim. He did a phenomenal job.
I when that movie first came out, I was like, this is going to be ridiculous, right? Ridiculous. And now the line between Val Kilmer and Jim Morrison is so blurred because when I think sometimes of Jim Morrison, I'm thinking of Val Kilmer in the movie. Like that was one of the most incredible performances of all time.
It was. So, great story. So we go to the movies. All my friends, we go to the movies to see the Doors, and we went to the movie on. It was on Chestnut Street. It wasn't the Ritz. I forget back then. It was
Sam Eric.
I think so. So we're on the movies. The credits are about to start, and my buddy Bob means Jobs, right? Bob goes, "Yo, let's get quarts and go to the bridge." Because we used to go hang at the Ben Franklin Bridge and get quarts of beer. And we go, what do you mean? Like the movie start? He went, what would Jim do? Jim would get quarts and go to the bridge. So half of us left. We left.
What do you stand on the Ben Franklin Bridge?
Yeah.
Are you under like trolls drinking under the bridge?
Over the bridge.
Over the bridge?
No, you know what they're like, VG.
It's like the movie later.
It's like he's Tony Manero and his friends hanging out by the bridge after they
on the bridge.
You know that scene, Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
I'm a music guy. I didn't know that. So the Dylan thing takes place from when he arrives in New York City to when he plugs in at the Newport Folk Festival. That's the time frame, and apparently it was a massive deal. Like it was a folk festival, and the fact that he plugged into an amplifier was like the most crazy, outrageous punk rock thing, and like people in the folk community hated him for doing it.
Wow,
it was like a big deal. So it leads up to that moment. And I had no idea that this was a major milestone in music history.
Yeah, that's cool. I love when these biopics focus on like a small piece, small period of time. That's what I love the best.
Yeah, I love that.
Sonic the 3, there's chat room. People were going to see Sonic 3.
And I'm out on that. I can't listen. It's great for families. Like Mufasa's doing really well, and people love that. I can't get into that. I will tell you that I'm kind of glad we haven't mentioned this already, but we have to touch upon it. I started watching Squid Games 2.
Well, that was my next question.
Out?
Yes. My next question was, all right, you gave me 5 features. I need 3 series. And I was going to ask you about Squid Game 2.
Yeah, Squid Game 2, VG, came out on Christmas Day, and I started watching it. I really liked the first season, and then when it became a phenomenon and everyone was Squid Game, it lost it for me. I don't know. I was kind of bored by the whole thing. So Netflix just came out. They released the second season. They released all seven episodes, I think, hour long each. And they released a game. By the way, they released a game as part of it, and the game's doing really well on Netflix. But I started to watch it. I really liked the premise of the second season a lot. I thought they were just going to go back and maybe do a new cast of contestants and do this exact same thing. Right. And it's more about the fact that the guy who survived it, the winner, Song, who won the whole thing, he wants to go back and take down the people that run the game. So it's kind of cool.
There's
a great Russian roulette scene in the first episode, which very Deer Hunter-esque. So I'm in so far.
It sounds good. Can
I just start? I've never seen the first series. Can I just start watching the second series?
No.
Second season?
No.
You got to watch the first. No.
All right, I'm out then. It's too much work.
Come on,
bro. The first one's good, man.
I don't sit down. If I sit down for that long, I put a game on. So I don't watch a lot of TV series.
The first one's great.
I always started Enigma last night. The Aaron Rodgers 3-part series on Netflix.
I got no interest in that.
It's good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He can't hold my attention.
He's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Listen, I would talk to him like over a drink, but I don't know. I got no interest in watching it. Give me 2 other series that people are looking.
Well, I'll give you a couple series. I haven't started all of these yet. But I'll tell you what people are telling me they really, really love. People love Black Doves on Netflix. Spy series, Keira Knightley. People are really, really into that. A series we talked about a few weeks ago, but is gaining a lot of steam. People love the series The Madness, where I told you about it. The guy wakes up in the Poconos and finds a dead body. So Netflix is killing with those 2 series. I'm into Silo right now. I'm loving Silo. I thought the first season was great. This new season is fantastic. I guess that's what I'm really watching right now. VG, there's a film I wanted to ask you about. I thought maybe you saw this in the theater, but it's streaming now on Netflix. It's an indie film with Carol Kane and Jason Schwartzman called Between the Temples. Have you seen that yet?
I haven't, but I'm a big Schwartzman fan.
Me too. I like him too.
Okay, so that's the thing. If you're a Schwartzman fan, which I am as well, this is a perfect movie for him. He's a bit older now. He's gained some weight, and he plays this kind of down and out, depressed cantor in New York who Carol Kane was his former music teacher back when he was a kid. And she comes to him because she decides now later in life she wants to be bat mitzvahed, and he has to work her through this. But it's a great, Robert Smigel's in it. It's a great, it's a true indie film, a lot of comedy, a lot of self-deprecating stuff.
Yeah, dramedy, true dramedy, yeah.
I really, really, really like it. And Carol Kane, they say Carol Kane could be up for some massive awards for this film.
Wow.
Yeah, so I recommend that to people too if you like that kind of thing, like a really gritty indie.
I love indies.
Yeah.
I'm with you. My brother, always great. We appreciate it. It was great hanging with you. All right.
Great to see you guys. Listen, I'm coming in next week. I'm coming on your show, and I'm gonna be shameless. I got a couple of shows coming out that I really want to get into with you.
Can't wait. I know about one, and people here are going to love it. So looking forward to it.
Yep, great absolutely.
Todd,
Happy holidays, guys.
There he is, TV Todd. All right, what do you got planned for the weekend?
I'm going to see some movies and drink some alcohol. That's pretty much the weekend.
I like it. All right, give me a prediction. What are you doing, Frage?
Tonight, I'm going to go see Nosferatu.
Nice. I want to see that.
I'm hearing so many good reviews about this movie, so I'm super excited.
All right. Prediction for Sunday?
Prediction for Sunday. I think it's going to be 27. We're going to go 27-13.
I like it. It's a good number.
24-10 Birds.
Yeah. I kind of see the same thing.
Easy.
23-13.
Yeah.
I like it. All right, everybody.
You got Back in the Day?
Oh, yes. Thank you. Back in the day. Thanks to our friends from Rite Aid.
We're going back. We're going back. We're going back in the day with Rite Aid. Yeah!
What do we got?
So, yesterday marked the 20th anniversary of Reggie White's death. He died at 43 years old on December 26th.
Wow.
So I didn't want that to pass without giving a little salute or tribute to Reggie White because he's one of the most dominant players of my life.
Died of sleep apnea.
Yeah.
So Get yourself checked.
Wow. So here's a wild play of his that's fun.
One man changed your offensive thinking for the entire game.
He rips the ball right
In
out of
8
his hand.
seasons with the Philadelphia
No one
Eagles,
catching him.
Reggie White played in 121 games
Yes.
and recorded 124 sacks.
Yeah, so just shout out to Reggie.
That's awesome. I love that. Especially on the day we lose Bill.
I was watching films of his one move with his arm. Reggie was just toss guys.
That was the
them.
swim move, man.
Toss
He
them.
was unbelievable.
Yeah.
That was known, right? The swim move.
Yeah.
All right, that will do it for us, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for hanging. We love you guys, right? Be safe. Have a good weekend. We'll see you on Monday.
Go Birds.
We all silly like the mayor.